Hello and welcome to the Computer Game Show. My name's David Turner. I'm here with Matt Murray.
Hello.
Sean Bell.
Hello.
And Mr. Boomstick.
You're right.
How you doing, boys? All right?
Yeah, not bad. Apologies in advance. There's nothing I can do about this. There's a horrific rainstorm outside, and occasionally it's just like fucking battering the window that I'm stood near. So if that comes up on the recording, I'm sorry. I can't control the weather yet.
All right.
I'm working on it. I'm just saying.
All right, fine. James, how was your birthday? You must have had a brilliant one, the amount of people that was wishing you a happy birthday instead of me. Are you happy now?
Yeah, it was quite enjoyable, actually. Yeah.
Really? You genuinely got enjoyment out of that?
Bloody hell.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love that. He's like, oh, I've given the game away. No, it wasn't that good, actually.
This is it. And because I don't, he moaned and moaned and moaned, but if it went his way, I got a feeling that he was actually getting quite annoyed by it throughout the day. Just like his phone going off. I imagine because it's connected to his watch and shit. And he must have been, oh, for fuck.
I had it on Do Not Disturb, actually.
I can't deal with this fame stuff. Leave it to the professionals, James. Leave it to the pros, mate. We'd like to start the show by thanking our Patreon producers. They went full Nels, didn't they? Steve Garrett, thank you for going full Nels. I'd also like to thank Alan M. Nash, Aaron Patrick, Simon Full Nels Nelson, and Anthony Oakenson. Thank you so much for going full Nels. If you would like to support us on Patreon by going full Nels or any other way, it's patreon.com/TCGS. Cheers for your support. Matt, let's get the feedback.
Let's go for it. Stuart Campbell has emailed in.
To be clear,
is it
not
which
that Stuart Campbell?
Yeah, it's not that one, is it?
I don't know. It's just Stuart Campbell. Let's assume it is that one. Hi, gents. Long-time listener to this phenomenal podcast, and I can honestly say that this is my go-to listen every Wednesday. I've been through thick and thin with you all and thoroughly appreciate all your views on the pod. I know that Dave's going to make me sound like a tit, but just for 1 second, think about what it's like for the listeners you claim to know what is best for.
I don't claim, I know. Go
Dave, the pod was great before you left. The pod was great while you were gone. And the pod is great now. Stop running the others down for not being as, in inverted commas, good as you at podcasting. You all need each other more than you realise. You're a team. Don't accuse Matt for having an ego when you clearly have the biggest by far. It's not about measuring dicks on the show. Thank God. Jesus.
I would lose that.
Almost certainly. If you have an issue, be professional and sort it out off air.
Isn't that less entertaining? Don't you want to hear us arguing? I want to hear us arguing.
Imagine we did the admin off air. Matt, if you have something to say to Dave, don't say it. Don't be passive aggressive. It's pathetic.
That's the best thing you said all email. Go on.
I'm not passive aggressive. Just whatever. Love you all, says Tom.
Why is it whenever we get emails that are quite critical of us, they always start with like, "Oh, I've been listening to the pod since it started. Love it. Absolutely love it. It's fucking shit. Love you."
Please change. Love you. Bye.
No, I'll take that feedback on board, and
you've been watching The Apprentice, haven't you?
It's not just a podcast.
It's your friend.
No, thanks for emailing in. Next email. Go on.
Tom S. Hello, chaps. It was great to hear David and James's review of Luigi's Mansion. I could hear the excitement in their voices that echoed my childlike joy of the game so far. It's quickly become a top game on the Switch for me, and I agree with David, it is essential. I was interested to hear David has been playing past the pal of his son. I wonder if any of you have been given co-op mode a go.
Have you, James?
No, I've not played it in co-op at all, actually. I mean, I should.
No, haven't you? I thought you would be. I thought you'd be all over that.
Me or James?
Both of you. Oh, I knew you had, Dave, didn't you?
It's funny because I've had quite a few messages in the week saying, you do know you can play a cart, right? I'll be honest with you, I just love the way we're playing it. Like, right now, it's me and Harry sitting next to each other on the sofa, like, laughing together, enjoying the game, and he's doing some challenging bits of the game without my help. And when it gets too difficult, he gets me to do it. If the puzzles are too difficult for him, it just passes the pad to me rather than him just standing about watching me do things in the level. Because that's what'll happen. He'll let me do all the combat and he'll let me do all the puzzles and stuff, and he'll just wander around hoovering stuff up. We just found it to be way more entertaining to let him do some of the combat, let him do the puzzles, and I love it. There's nothing better, right, than when I'm stuck on a puzzle in Luigi's Mansion 3 and Harry just turns to me and go, I've got an idea. And I'll go, what's that? And he'll just grab the pad off me and then go and do so. It's usually not the idea at all. It usually involves him just flashing a light at something and going, it didn't work. And I'll take the pad back. But it's just that interaction. I really like that interaction rather than us just... I don't know, man. It feels like I would have pissed through this game in no time by essentially just ignoring him while he just pissed around in the level.
Yeah. Have you not tried it then? You're not interested in trying? Because I heard loads of great things about the co-op in this, saying it's like one of the best examples of it.
The other thing is that if we do that, then Harry will want to do that all the time. And I just think we're both enjoying it so much the way we're playing it at the moment that I don't want to break that. Like, because if he does go, oh no, I can be playing all the time now, and he does just go around hoovering stuff up without challenging himself with the combat and the puzzles, it kind of loses its magic a little bit for me, I think. And that's the most important person playing that game at the moment. Me. So what I say goes. I don't know. I've just really enjoyed playing it the way that I wouldn't want to change it. So if it felt like one of us was getting bored or whatever, then maybe I'd suggest it. But it just hasn't happened. We're now up to 12.5 hours playing that game, and I haven't been bored or frustrated or tired of it for a single minute of that. Nor has Harry, because we're just both sitting there laughing and chatting to each other about the game as we're playing it. It's weird.
Nice, yeah. Tom continues, I'm having an amazing time playing a game as a couch co-op with my girlfriend. One player being Luigi means each player can contribute equally to exploring, sucking and slamming. Main Luigi keeps pace a la Sonic and Tails and can open doors and trigger cutscenes. Special areas only Luigi can access helps keep player 2 engaged, and collaborating to solve puzzles is a real highlight. Hope you can enjoy it as much as we have.
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely people that would enjoy the other way more than the way we are. It feels like it's just the way we're playing it, and neither of us would want to change that, I don't think. Although I haven't told him about the co-op stuff, probably because that's what he'd want to do.
Just give in, Dave. It sounds brilliant.
No, but why? Why?
Why not? There's a co-op mode and there's two of you. Why wouldn't you give it a go?
Because he would somehow become less into the game, I feel.
We don't know. You haven't tried. He might be into it more. Collaborative puzzle solving. Imagine
I think he would. I'd be solving the puzzles and doing the combat for him.
And you're going to get the whole stop pissing around. We need to stop sucking that up. We need to move on. Whatever. It'd just be annoying.
Well, no, he does that when I'm just watching him play on his own. But it feels like we're having more of a chat and more of a conversation while playing it by passing the pad than we would be if we were doing co-op. Because we're chucking ideas off each other. I suppose that would still happen. I don't know. I like the way we're playing it at the moment, so I'm not going to change that.
Joe Mankey emails in, hi boys, just a PSA, in the Outer Worlds you can hold down the 2 squares button or the 3 lines button on the Xbox controller to jump to the map or the journal. I'm not sure what it is on a DualShock, but if you guys are on PS4, I was furious about how many button presses the map is to until we figured this out.
Yeah.
Obviously, I think a bunch of people tweeted James in the week.
It was good though. It's very useful, so and I have been doing that. It's so much better to do that. Also,
same here, and it's funny how many games do that, yet how many times I completely miss the fact that you can do that. Like, it's the same with Red Dead, right? You can hold down the button to get straight to the map and stuff like that. So many games do that, yet I never try it. I never think, it's really shit to get to the map in this. Oh, maybe it does that hold down the button thing. Never happens. It's not until someone goes, you do know you can hold down the button, right? Oh, of course. I remember games do that a lot.
They're also patching it soon, so you can increase the font size as well, which would be nice. Nice, easier to read.
Cool. But there's still no way. Your glasses coming soon. You might not need them.
It's true. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
that's right. James has got to wear glasses.
The Star Wars curse strikes again.
It is. It's Star Wars, isn't it? It's just ridiculous.
It is. Yeah. Welcome to my world. Imagine for me, I was cool before Star Calls. You should have seen it, because obviously, it was my birthday last week. And people don't know what to buy you and stuff like that. They know about the podcast now, so they're kind of like, well, this is it. There's Star Wars stuff everywhere. We could just buy them Star Wars stuff. I had a T-shirt with Empire Strikes Back poster on it. I had 2 figures, one of Rey and one of Luke Skywalker. I've got 2 cards in front of me. One says, "Brother, use the Force," and a picture of Darth Vader. The other one's got, Dad, I know what you're getting for your birthday. I felt your presence. And Darth Vader on it. People have just like, finally, fucking hell, we can get into that. That's not video games. What should we get him? Star Wars stuff. So that's been quite an eye-opener for me.
Fantastic. Okay, it's like our 12-year-old birthdays, but you're having it like 34.
Yeah, I'm having it at 35, yeah. Go on.
Bradley emailed in. On episode 177, Sean said he doesn't drink coffee, but he really likes making it. I'm having trouble grasping what he meant. What's so enjoyable about making coffee, and who are you making coffee for? Does Sean moonlight as a barista?
I did for about 10 years. And then when I finally left the catering industry and haven't really looked back, apart from the fact that I was like, do you know what? I am actually really good at making coffee, and my wife really likes coffee. So I bought her an espresso machine, obviously with the implicit, I will continue to make coffees for you as long as you need them. Because I really enjoy making them. It's just...
How long did that last?
Oh, no, to this day, mate.
Really?
Yeah. I really enjoy making them, because it's the enjoyment of like making like dinner or whatever, but in like 5 minutes. Like it's there's just enough craft to it that it's kind of satisfying to do.
Well, that was going to be my next question. What's the craft in it? Because I see the word barista and on the back of their like tops and stuff, and I'm like, fuck off.
No. Like, so yeah, when you're doing it professionally, it's like in the first day you learn how to do it properly, and then the next 10 years is just learning how to do it quicker and quicker and quicker.
Well, this is it. That's no different to pouring a pint, right? It's no different to pouring a pint.
Yeah. There's definitely I reckon that's probably
so
a similar.
Then we need to come up with a fancy word for bar staff. Do you know what I mean? Barman. And then sort of put that on the back of their shirts. Pretentious.
But yeah, like so she, so my wife really likes like cappuccinos and lattes and stuff, so I enjoy just taking 5 minutes to do them properly. So yeah, that's all. But also, it wasn't interesting at all, was it?
Maybe Bradley didn't watch the Bill's Kitchen where you said, I'm going to have to make a coffee because I'm so tired. Yeah. And then you made that coffee, and then you showed on Twitch that the only way to drink that coffee is to down the coffee.
Because I fucking hate coffee. And everyone's like, yeah, but of course you don't like it if you drink it in one go. It's like, no, I drink it in one go because I don't like it. I just want to get it over with as quickly as possible.
Sean, are you telling me that next time I'm around yours, you could do me a legitimate, like, proper flat white?
Oh, God, yeah. Yeah, easy.
Okay.
You all right?
I'll see you this weekend. I'll go to yours for a flat white.
Lewis Belfort. Not sure I understand why Dave thinks the Switch won't need a hardware refresh for several years when it's struggling to run current games. Surely they'll just release a Switch 2 when next gen starts, just to run the new games.
I probably didn't make myself clear
definitely
during that discussion. That's probably my fuck up. No, I meant that Nintendo wouldn't move on to their sort of next thing within the next couple of years. Like, we're not going to see. We'll probably see an upgrade to the Switch. I wouldn't be surprised if that happened in a year or so. But I can't see them going, okay, this is the new console we're doing now, like their next gen, if you know what I mean. That was the point I was trying to make.
But so would you? I mean, obviously, as we know, there's rumours about Switch Pro, and if they call it that or call it something else, you wouldn't determine that to be a next gen Switch, even if it is much more powerful.
Well, did we do that for the X and the PS4 Pro?
No. I guess that was like there wasn't a new generation. Yeah, I guess what happens if it's Switch 2, definitely next gen. But if it's just a Switch Pro, that's just another Switch. And that
it depends on if they release a Switch Pro or whatever that plays games that don't work on the regular Switch. Do you know what I mean? That's how. I mean, that's for me. That's how you determine like if it's like a new generation or not.
That's never going to happen.
What do you mean?
Well, I can't see him making a new Switch and not running the old Switch games.
Well, exactly.
No, but you can see them making a new console and not running the old Switch games, though, surely.
Yeah. I thought James was implying if they release another Switch.
No, they release a new Switch, right? A bit like the Game Boy Color, where they release something which is like it plays new games, but then those games that are just for that won't work on the old hardware as well.
Yeah, well, they've done that several times before, haven't they?
I was going to say, because they did it with the new 3DS, and that was like, how many games were there?
We had this discussion when it happened, and there was like about 1 or 2 games.
Pretty sure it was just Xenoblade, wasn't
it? That's a strategy. Doesn't seem to be working.
Well, they did all right. They sold quite a lot, Matt.
Yeah, but in terms of like, this is an exclusive game for this, and like they released one. If it was really
look, my point was, I can't see them moving on to their next gen, their version of next gen within the next couple of years. What I can see is a hardware refresh. Yeah, but I wouldn't say games are struggling on it. Are you? Would you?
I mean,
it's the multi-platform stuff, isn't it? That is struggling to be on the
stuff struggling on it for sure.
Yeah, but we knew that from day one, didn't we?
Luigi's Mansion, fucking hell, it's incredible.
And we knew cross-platform stuff was going to be a struggle on it right off the bat because it's a fucking handheld.
I still don't reckon they're even halfway through their life of the Switch yet. Like, not even close. Like to that, I think it's.
I think you're probably right. Yeah.
I think it's going to last a long time.
Yep.
Yeah, because obviously the Wii was so successful because they could port 360 games relatively easy with some downgrades. When PS5 and Xbox 2 come out, whatever, that's just not going to happen at all.
That'd be a much bigger gap.
That is something to be a big difference. They can't say, there's also a Switch version because they can kind of downgrade Outer Worlds and put on Switch.
They've always done this. They've always been out of sync with the other consoles.
Yeah. But also that matters less now because if the PS5 and the Xbox One, if games are going to be coming out that still work on like PS4 and the original Xbox One, probably they can be scaled down to Switch as well.
Yeah, possibly.
Well, I'm thinking more when Project X Cloud comes to Switch.
Yeah,
none of this will matter. Full stop.
But we don't know what we're talking about. Let's move on.
No, just to be clear, though,
every single question.
Yeah, I was going to say, what's the point of doing this podcast right now?
Just to be clear, though, that email we received is totally fair. But yeah, I think it's more of a misunderstanding than anything else. I should have made myself a little bit more clear during that bit.
Last week in the news section, James told us about the fact you can. There's like the pass for Mario Kart Tour on mobile, and those users get access to multiplayer a little bit earlier than everyone else. Rich at RichBurst24, recharging for the online version of Mario Kart mobile game. You can pay £50 for Mario Kart on Switch and not play online, unless you play either extra, either monthly, quarterly, or annually.
Very true, but
that gets you
Mario
multiplayer
Kart
for loads of other
stuff.
Well, yeah, there is that. But that fee gets you loads of other stuff as well. It's not just the online, functionality of one game.
Yeah,
but
you get Super NES games, you get NES stuff, and also a much better version of Mario Kart.
Yes, app.
But he does.
I see his point. Because we were saying it's ridiculous. You're having to pay for the game and then then extra for multiplayer functionality.
Online,
but I think it's different when it's the entire platform is asking for one fee for multiplayer rather than just one game.
Also, it probably works out cheaper than what they're asking for on that thing, right?
Yeah, because Switch Online costs nothing.
Right, last ones here. Dave Hughes and Sam Wiley talking about Boomstick, of course. Very much looking forward to hearing the streaming debut of Mr. Boomstick on Twitch. He's going to shake up the online gaming industry for good. And Sam and actually loads of others commented, surely it's Dr. Boomstick.
I don't know which I prefer. I think Dr. Boomstick is probably better, isn't it?
Yeah, Dr. Boomstick is better, actually.
Yeah. Right, that's it.
That name. But
yeah, that's it for follow-up. It's at Computer Game Pod if you want to tweet us, or you can email podcast@thecomputergameshow.com.
Cool. Let's get straight to the news then.
There's less than last week, which is a good thing.
Woo!
But I think it's quite good quality.
Is it?
Yeah, I was quite pleased with what there is this week. It's quite fun.
What do you mean?
Well, no, one of the stories I think is genuinely fascinating. As I started reading it, I was like, this is really interesting. And
but I'll be honest, you sound more pleased that you don't have to read out as many news stories.
Exactly.
More than you do
that's the real deal,
the content is.
Dave, it was ridiculous last week. There was about 9. It was insane. And then there was all those financials ones that Matt wanted to put in. It was
surely a news hound would be really excited that there's so much to go over.
Oh, it's quality. It's quality over quantity. and it's
okay. Let's hear this quality then.
Okay, quality.
So Shuhei Yoshida is standing down from being head of PlayStation Worldwide Studios, and
just make the joke, Matt. Make the joke.
What is the joke?
Wait, I thought you just assumed that everyone's going to Stadia. Is that not what's going on?
Oh
here?
definitely.
Yeah, he's not going. He's not going to.
Thanks for making the joke.
He's not going to do that.
No, he's still at Sony.
He's staying at Sony, and he's going to be working on this new initiative that's going to focus on indie developers mostly. And I mean, I guess the whole point of that is because of PlayStation 5, isn't it? They want like a whole bunch of games to be ready for that.
So Sony have checked their Google Calendar and they said, "Oh shit, hang on, guys, this is a reminder." It suddenly says, "Get interested in indies because we're a year out from the console." Like
that's exactly
that's all that happens. It's like, okay, brilliant. Okay, well, we love indies. It's the launch new console. That's doing well. Okay, like sod a lot of you. We'll see you again in about 7 years' time when we suddenly need to.
I hate these conspiracy theories every time someone leaves, but there is a lot going on at Sony at the moment, isn't there?
A lot of movement.
They got this new guy who's now like replacing Yoshida, who's it's Herman Hulst, who was the managing director of like Guerrilla Games, but now he's the head of Worldwide Studios. So yeah, there's a lot of sort of shuffling around going on and like changes.
What do you think that means, James?
It's just all for PS5, isn't it? It's to try and work out the strategy, I guess.
Okay, that's as good a reason as any.
Yeah. Okay, next story. This is the one.
Okay, that's it, right? No one else got anything. Yeah, it's crazy.
Well, no,
like
it's quality over quantity, Matt.
Yeah.
Are we not
getting the quality over quantity here, boy?
People listening to this be like, that was brief, but every word was fucking gold.
Yeah, come on, that was totally worth it. It's like, we have to keep up to date with who's going where and all that kind of thing. So I thought I'd give you that.
Is he aiming the pod not to have a discussion?
Well, ideally, Matt.
Discuss it then, Matt. You can't go quiet and then have a go at everyone for going quiet.
No, I was waiting for someone to jump in with the hottest news story.
No need to jump in. Let's hear your thoughts.
But after last week, I just want to make sure I don't talk over anyone, so I was waiting.
Okay, fine. Well, no one will talk over you. Go on. Let's hear your thoughts on this news story.
It's mad, isn't it?
Go on.
Nah, that's it. It's everyone's leaving. What's happening? Like
next news story, James. Next news story.
Okay, this is the one that I thought was interesting because this is the FIFA 20 like pro player who's been suspended because he's been colluding with others on Discord. Have you heard about this, Dave? Because I think this is a very interesting story.
Now, from what I understand, it's a Discord. Right? It sounds so weird. It sounds like a Discord group where a bunch of pro players, because they have these sort of seasonal events on FIFA Ultimate Team, right?
It all depends weekends. It's every weekend they do this.
Every weekend, right? Yeah. And it's all about your win ratio, depending on that depends on what prizes you get at the end of it, right?
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
So what these pro players are doing, they've got their own private Discord set up, and then they arrange when they go into matchmaking to make sure that they don't get matchmade with each other. Is that correct?
That's exactly right, yeah.
So where's what are they banned from? This was exposed by Eurogamer, wasn't it?
No,
there was an article.
Let me explain the whole thing here. So what happened here is it's kind of like pseudo match fixing is what's going on. So they've been doing exactly as you said. They've been trying to avoid playing each other. So then they'd ideally get like a better win-lose ratio because they'd be going up against like easier teams. Like as Eurogamer said, it'd be like if like Chelsea and like not Man United, they're crap now, but like Man City and like Liverpool and teams like that decided they weren't going to play each other and they were only going to play like other teams. So
not like that at all, though, is it? It's not. It's nothing like that.
Well, it kind of is.
It's not. That is bullshit. It's nothing like that, is it?
How is it nothing like that? It's so you avoid playing weaker
one
teams.
is a scheduled competition where people have to play each other.
That's what this is.
The other is matchmaking against people on the internet.
This is also a scheduled competition, though. Like, they do this every weekend, because it's like...
Right, yes, they do it every weekend, but it doesn't stipulate in that competition that they have to play the other pros, though, does it?
No, but it's designed so that they're supposed to. And that's why they're getting around it by doing this. Because by doing this...
I just don't see that as the same thing at all.
Well, of course it's not exactly the same thing. It's just an analogy, Dave. It's not supposed to be exactly the same.
That's what I'm saying. Even the analogy is completely wrong. It doesn't make any sense.
It does, because you've got pro players on one side, and then you've got like elite teams on the other. Like that they're using the same example.
If EA set up a tournament, right, like an event or whatever, and they got all of these pro gamers to come and play each other, and they worked out on this Discord how they were going to, match fix all the matches or whatever. That's one thing. But this is a totally open event to everyone who can play at any time by turning their computer, their console on and hitting matchmaking. And they're just saying, well, I'm going to play this time, so you don't play that time.
It's not, though, is it? Because it's...
Go on then. So what am I missing? Because I'm clearly missing something.
You get match made with people that are like similar level to you and everything. That's the whole point.
So what happens if you... Yeah, but what happens if you log on one weekend and no one else on your level is playing, just out of coincidence?
Then you'll play worse teams, won't you? That's why they're doing this.
Exactly. But surely... Is there anything in the terms and conditions saying you're not allowed to contact people of your level and tell them when you're going to go into matchmaking?
I'll come to that, because EA have responded about this.
I know they've responded. I've not actually read that, so I'm interested to find. All I'm saying is, from reading what they're doing, I don't understand why this is such a big deal. And I don't know what they're banned from. Are they banned from the game?
No.
Completely?
Okay. So it's a big deal because of the fact that they're manipulating the tournament so that then they, to increase their chances of winning by playing like players that are weaker than them. So there's that, right? So it's not fair for everybody, that's playing, because it means that the top ones will always remain top, because they're not going to have to play each other at all, which is not entirely fair. But then also the other thing they were doing is they were conspiring to stop people from entering like the top league as well, like from entering like from becoming like in the top 100. And they were doing this by doing like what they called stream sniping, where they were like watching people that looked like they were going to enter the top 100, and then like doing matchmaking at that exact moment, so they play them so they could stop them from getting in, if you see what I mean.
Right.
So they were doing that, and then what it was this was all discovered because one of these players, who's like a streamer, who was close to like entering the top 100. His FIFA name was like Run the FIFA Ultimate Team Market, who's called Nick Bartlett's. He has like this big following, and then he got this thing where he was suffering disconnections. Do you know about this?
No, go on.
So this is how it can be manipulated, because so if you disconnect in a game of FIFA, both of you record a loss, so that's it, you're kind of done. But apparently, like allegedly, there are glitches that exist that allow you to cause a disconnection so that your opponent records a loss, but then you get a fresh chance and you don't like get a loss, you see. So what it was this guy was very close to cracking into like the top 100, and then he said he's never had a disconnection in 3 years. We don't have his word to take for that, but that's what he said. And then suddenly he's getting disconnections like just before that, so he's getting like on a losing streak. And then he then revealed like a whole bunch of screenshots that have been taken from this Discord of other pro players that were like commenting on his run and conspiring to end it. Like that's what what they were doing by doing stuff like disconnections and stuff.
That seems like what the story should be, because I think that is obviously shady as shit. I don't think telling other pros when you're going into matchmaking sounds... Am I wrong here? Sean, as an outsider, what do you think? No, you're not an outsider anymore. Sorry.
I should be asking Sean all these questions, really, not you, Dave.
Sean, don't play online, because you're going to get disconnected by this group. Constantly.
The forcing disconnections thing sounds way worse to me. They're trying to manipulate the matchmaking. I mean, I don't know. That sounds like it would be quite, nearly impossible to actually do effectively. But I don't know. I don't know enough about. Like, I'm just thinking in terms of times. When people have been like, oh, well, there's like there's a demo where. Of an online game where you can't actually set up a party with your mates, and you're like, oh, well, if we all hit matchmaking at the same time, it'll definitely put us in the same. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, we've done that.
Any attempt to sort of manipulate it has never worked for me. But then, I don't know.
But this would totally work.
Like,
though.
Surely the game should then go. Like, if you're trying to get weaker opponents by doing this matchmaking thing, surely the game should be built to turn around and go, hey, no one on your level is. You can't be match-made with anyone on your level.
Well, that would make more sense if they did that, because it would probably stop this from happening, but that hasn't happened. And what it was EA have acknowledged that this is going on, and they've already given like a ban to this guy who was the first winner of the E-Champions League, and because he was involved in the whole thing. Do you want to hear the statement from EA?
Absolutely, yeah, I'm dying to hear this.
Okay, so it says, the integrity of our tournaments is of the utmost importance to us, and we monitor our competitions.
It is over FIFA, and we know how scripted that shit is, so, allegedly. Go on.
We monitor our competitions on and off the pitch to ensure fair play, reads the statement. We identified a player who violated the EA Sports FIFA 20 Global Series Code of Conduct because they used an out-of-game Discord channel to dissuade players from competing against them. This competitor will receive an EA Sports FIFA 20 Global Series 2 qualifier suspensions. So it seems that there is a code of conduct that details this, that says, I think you're not supposed to communicate with people outside of the game, like when you're playing, because it gives you an advantage.
Yeah, no, that makes total sense then. So if they've signed up to that, they've only been banned from their tournaments, I assume.
Yeah.
That's what the ban is. And if they've signed up to that to compete in these tournaments, then yeah, fair enough.
But also, I mean, the guy who got caught, he's come clean on Twitter as well. Like, he just said...
Yes.
He said, I want to say I'm sorry and I apologise to, like, it's NYCFC, EA and to the fans. I've made a mistake that I will learn from and I'll do my best to earn your trust back. So that's at least something. At least they're like a missing, liability.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I mean, he's clearly done something wrong here, and he's being punished for it. I fail to see how the original thing you were talking about, how that is like. I mean, it's a bit sad, if anything. Do you know what I mean? It's
they're doing it because they can gain from it, can't they? Like financially,
yeah,
that's the main reason.
I don't know.
Although, I mean, but apparently, even aside from this, like the FIFA community isn't happy in general because, like, people don't know how long this has been going on for, like, and what can EA do anything to stop this? Because really, they can't, can they? It wouldn't be difficult to do this at all.
No, just set up a new Discord.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Next story is that Valve.
Bit of drama for you.
Yeah. What?
Go on.
Okay. Valve could be working on a Google Stadia rival.
Ooh.
Right.
That's a bit of juice, isn't it?
It is, yeah. So what this was there was a reference on Valve's Steamworks partner site, and it was related to something that they're calling Steam Cloud Gaming. Which, I mean, that sounds quite conclusive that that's probably what it is. But
it could be anything. It could be anything.
I mean, the partner works thing that is
brackets, open brackets. Our
version of Stadia,
rival to Stadia, close brackets.
Stadia sucks. Close bracket.
So the whole point is that this partner site is for developers and publishers that build games for Steam, like to show them, tools that they need and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And they've added extra stuff to the terms and conditions stuff, which has about Steam Cloud Gaming and saying you've got to sign up for this and everything. So it looks like this is probably going to happen, and it's.
I've just had a thought.
What?
You work for Valve. You decide to start this new service, and you want as many people to sign up to it as possible. What exclusive can you give them that is definitely going to get millions of people to sign up?
Minesweeper 2.
With ray tracing.
New version of Counter-Strike, isn't it?
It's fucking happening.
What's happening?
Half-Life 3's coming back.
Yeah.
All the rumours are going to start up again. The moment they mention this, you do know that this is a legitimate possibility. Oh my God, could you imagine it? They could crush Google in seconds with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Google have all the money in the world and they won't be able to deal with Half-Life 3.
I mean, exclusives or no, the fact that you'd already have your Steam library on there. Hang on, who's tapping?
Matt,
that's your mechanical bloody keyboard. What's going on?
Can you hear that?
Yes.
Matt, what are you doing?
It's the Fallout 3
terminal. Are you Googling Half-Life 3?
Matt, what are you doing?
Matt, what are you doing?
I'm cancelling my Stadia pre-order.
Whoa! Is that...
No, okay, Matt, you can't do that because they've just announced the launch lineup. You see?
Well, and it's a blinder.
I saw the launch lineup, and I think it's time. To pull the plug.
Are you joking? Are you joking? Are you legitimately going to do it?
I'm doing it right now.
Was this already on the cards? Surely it's not just the Valve thing that's pushed you over the edge, or is it?
Matt, are you serious? You're actually going to cancel it?
I'm cancelling for a number of reasons. The Valve thing hasn't helped, frankly, because all they're going to do is announce something amazing, and suddenly everyone's like, "Yeah, I'll buy Steam Cloud Gaming." Then I saw.
Holy shit!
Well, I mean, earlier today, there's like some people like mentioned me on Twitter saying, "Oh, I've just checked my Stadia pre-order, and apparently I'm not getting until 27th." I'm like, "Well, I'm sure I'll be fine." I ordered it literally on the day pre-orders went live. No, apparently I'm not getting mine until 21st November. So that fucked me off. You know, if I can't win it day one.
So that's the reason then.
If I can't
it's
win
got
it day
nothing
one,
to do with how shit it is and how how expensive it is for
because
basically beta testing. It's because you
realised-
won't be there day one. That's what it is.
That isn't helping. But I've realised what's the point? And then they had the audacity to post a launch lineup today as well.
Come on, it's amazing, Matt. They got 12 classic games on it.
12 games.
Well, let's read them. You read them. I'm counting this week.
Wait. Before you read them, these are 12 games that you have to buy, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, no. Well,
no, one of them you don't. Yeah.
One of
them. One of them you don't. Is there pricing alongside these?
No. Not yet.
They haven't announced the pricing of these games.
But they said it's going to be competitive, and also said that they said founders get like a discount on digital titles.
Matt, it's alright, you can stop now.
You know that Tomb Raider Definitive Edition is going to be $39.99. You know, at the cheapest. That's going to be with discount. That is.
What are the games? Okay, run through them.
So we've got Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Great game.
Surprise there. Destiny 2. Guilt, which was their exclusive that probably isn't an exclusive. Just Dance 2020. I mean, imagine buying Stadia for that.
How does that even work?
I've been wondering this. Surely it needs some sort of movement-based controller or something.
Well, I mean, Google have enough surveillance on the world.
That's true, yeah.
Allegedly.
They just know what you're up to anyway.
Your movements and it already.
Just activate one of the spy satellites. Yeah, you're dancing.
Yeah, the drones.
Could you imagine that if they said that? Motion control using Just Dance on Stadia. Really? Don't we need some motion controls? Nah, don't worry about it.
Yeah, don't worry about it. It's the enemy of the state up here.
Don't worry about it.
Well, yeah, we'll know
what so it's not going to track my movement? Oh, no, it's going to track your movement. 1-to-1 tracking of your movement. Well, how does it do? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. God, could you imagine if it motion controls with an asterisk underneath it, and then you look at the small print and it just says, "Don't worry about it." Go on.
Okay, so we've got Kine. Then you got Mortal Kombat 11, Red Dead Redemption 2, Rise of the Tomb Raider, Samurai Showdown, Shadow of the Tomb Raider Definitive Edition.
I've cancelled it.
Have you actually cancelled it?
It's done.
Well done, Matt. I'm proud of you.
Yeah,
although actually I'm not, because the whole point was that you were only getting this because it was new, and then the moment you find out that you won't be getting it when it's new, that's when you cancel your pre-order.
I just can't be fucked with it anymore. I'm not going to play it. Also, we're a week out, right? And they haven't shown us a UI. They've done nothing.
Mm-hmm.
It's out this week, isn't it? Like the 9th, a week tomorrow. So
you care about UI
but
too
come on,
much.
if this is the launch of anything, they would have done something. Like this, it's crazy. And like they've announced this launch up today, 8 days before the thing comes out.
But also, I mean,
I've got a feeling it's not going to come out because like that's half of the British market just cancelled now. that is it. There's an alarm going off in Google's office now, just going, what's happened?
We've lost the UK.
Matt Murray's cancelled.
We've lost the UK.
Yeah, a massive white line comes out on a map. UK gone.
So there's also Thumper and Tomb Raider Definitive Edition as well. So that's your 12 games. I mean, if you look at this list, it's the absolute bare minimum that these publishers could do, isn't it?
It's interesting for a couple of reasons, though, because obviously concerns about latency and stuff. You got Mortal Kombat, you got Samurai Showdown, beat 'em ups, and then Thumper, music game. I mean, Just Dance, I guess.
Exactly. Do you not think that's a show? That's a sign of belief.
It's a show of confidence.
I'd agree.
But then equally, okay, so say the lag is a little bit noticeable. Stuff like Red Dead Redemption 2, probably fine.
Yep.
So,
and if they get that running 4K at top specs on
if that's the
PC, then
that's the full whack PC version, then that's interesting. But I mean, it's not an exciting list, is it?
It's terrible.
All this does to me is highlight that this literally is a beta.
Yeah.
This is a beta. I know they're saying they're not officially launching until next year, but they can't call it a beta, obviously, because they're charging people for hardware to access it.
Yeah.
So, not that might be a legal issue, but more that it doesn't look good to do that. I think it just screams, look, this is not ready. This is a beta. This is early access.
Don't worry, because there's more games coming before the end of the year. Including Ghost Recon Breakpoint. So
which everyone has already decided isn't very good.
Yeah.
Yep.
They've also got, there's this Football Manager 2020. I know a lot of people are really excited about that. Like, it'd be...
Yeah, well, if there's one thing that shows off the 4K, you get my point.
Yeah.
Go on.
Wolfenstein Youngblood, that's coming as well.
See, everyone hated that as well.
Yeah.
They did.
So, yeah, and I'm not going to read this list because it's not a very interesting list. It's...
Right,
yeah.
fine.
Who cares? But yeah, Matt, I'm a bit disappointed.
Well, not even Matt does anymore. That's the sad
I'm
thing.
still a bit disappointed because I was hoping that you were going to gift me the other subscription. That
I bet you were. Nah, it's £120. I'm not good with it. I'm just not going to do it.
Not good with it.
I'm not going to do it.
I'm still meant to be going to a Stadia party on the 21st. So I'll report in, I guess.
Yeah, you should get him to check his. You should get him to check his pre-order online.
I will do.
Actually, still says that.
Yeah.
I'd love to know what the pricing's going to be on these games because I bet you it's going to be ridiculous.
Well, yeah, it's going to be full whack, £40-50, no doubt. But you can play them in Chrome, and that's the real quiz. Yeah, it's.
You don't have to defend it anymore, Matt. You don't have to defend it.
No, I've always said
you can't help it. It's just like a reflex.
Really
it's just.
I've always said it's shit.
I've always said I'm not 100% sure, but I want to give it a go, and now I'm not going to give it a go. I'm sorry to all three of you out there who are as excited for me to play Stadia, but it's the dream.
Yeah, hold on. You've convinced some of our listeners to fucking get this shit. Now
they've all got time to cancel now.
Well, not when. Will they by Wednesday?
Oh shit! No, it'll be fine. I'm sure because everyone's order's probably been delayed. Yeah, I'm sad in one way, but I don't think I'm going to be there on Friday and thinking, God, why did I cancel? I don't think I'm going to have any FOMO about this whatsoever. And I knew for a fact I was going to, obviously it's exciting getting it, opening it, taking pictures, etc., banging it on social, sure. But the actual playing, I'm like, wow, I'm going to do all this just to play Destiny 2 for free. I'm not going to buy a £50 game, and I'm not going to spend that £9 a month on it currently.
Mm-hmm. We've probably asked this before, but what version of Destiny is it? Like, is it the full whack with all the DLC? Yeah, it's the full whack,
yeah. And it's got the first... Yeah, it's basically, I think it is Shadow Keep. It's got it's got a bunch of stuff and,
Right, okay, fine.
Yeah.
Matt, you're not going to be a founder.
Go into it.
No, I won't. Someone else will take
speak to you anymore.
Someone else is going to take my username now. Yeah. I think it's
Haven't
rubbish.
You already registered your new username?
No.
Oh, right. Oh, I thought you registered it when you pre-ordered.
No.
I thought that was the whole point.
No, because then you could just get your name and then cancel. No, they're going to send emails out before it launches, which is now.
Okay, all right.
Okay, last news Storio. Oh, what is going on?
Oh. It's the Storio. James, you just come out with more and more gleam every week.
Storio!
I can't stop coughing now.
What, you haven't coughed once? We haven't.
No, because I had it muted. I had it muted, Sean.
Okay.
I've got all red. Oh.
Come on, give us that new story, Let's go.
It's because I was looking at the first name and it came out wrong. Because it's...
Come on, let's go.
You know what? I've got a massive weight on my shoulders now. Now the stage is cancelled, I feel like I'm walking on air.
What are you going to do with the money, mate?
Well, I didn't have the money anyway, so this is brilliant. I can afford my mortgage now.
Right,
I was thinking, fucking hell, am I going to carry this through just for a gag? No.
It wasn't just for a gag. Don't give it the bigger now.
Look, I've always said I've been worried about it, and, and I don't even use Chrome. I'm a Safari user.
I mean, you're just saying things that we've been saying for the past few months, Matt.
I'm not saying I'm not saying I'm not interested, but no, it's not for me right now.
But that interest dipped the moment you realised you weren't there day one. That's the only reason why you wanted to buy it.
That hasn't got that much to do with it. It's got a bit to do with it. I was livid when I saw that. I ordered it on the day pre-orders were live, 21st.
How much
was it? What do you think you're doing to me?
130, wasn't it? Was it 130?
120.
I love the idea that you'd spent like £120 on that, and then you also had to spend like 40 quid on a copy of Tomb Raider, like to play on it.
Yeah, but I didn't though, James. So
good point. Good point.
Okay,
right,
last story is
next story.
Hideo Kojima is going to venture into film production. So apparently, so it says Kojima Production is going to turn to filmmaking, and this is because he talked to BBC Newsbeat, and he said in the future, Kojima Productions will start making films. If you can do one thing well, you can do everything well. I think
that's definitely how it works.
Yeah,
100%.
It was a joke.
Oh, okay.
But yeah,
apparently he was
joking. Everyone seems to have missed that part out, but apparently he's laughing afterwards and stuff. So it was like a tongue-in-cheek thing about.
Fair dues.
But no one mentions that because that wouldn't be as interesting, would it?
Well, we mentioned it,
I don't know. I see a lot of people going at this, but whatever. Let's see what he can do.
Yeah,
see if he can make a film.
He said he's been approached to direct many times, but has always declined it. But then
Sharknado. Yes, I love getting a laugh like that out of James. It's the best. I know. What do you think, Sean?
Obviously the obvious joke is, his games are fucking films anyway. But you always see that argument that it's they're good stories, but if they were actually in the cinema, they'd get laughed out. All right, well, let's see then. Whatever. It costs me nothing for Hideo Kojima to make a film, even if it's shit. So, whatever. See what happens, I guess.
Let's see what he's got. Yeah. Let's see what the boy's got.
Like Konami previously and Sony have just given him mountains of money to make what he wants. Now, I want to see Netflix do the same and have a Hideo Kojima original. Which the most expensive episode of anything ever.
Amazon Prime can just sign up David Cage.
Yeah,
in response.
I would love to see what he could do for TV or film. I'd rather him go into TV because obviously his games are pretty cinematic. But it'd be interesting to see what he had to do with a much shorter sort of running time. Yeah. Obviously, potentially over years of series. But I would love to see what he can do with TV and film. So yeah, bring it on. I'll be well up for that.
Okay, well, we better steal this segue then, shouldn't we?
Yeah.
And get into the game that we'll... Now, I've been thinking about this week, Matt. You've been very, very excited about Death Stranding coming out this week. And we know you're a Kojima fan and you're looking forward to his next big project and you've had your eye on this game for a while. Can I ask, and I'm not having a pop, I'm just asking... Where did this Kojima stuff come from? Because I was thinking, because Matt's a Kojima fan, so it's quite a big thing. But then I was thinking, is he? What's your history? Is what I'm asking.
I remember playing that first one, and playing a demo in school and just being blown away.
That
away
first
by
one, you Metal Gear Solid.
What was that first one, Matt?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
So run us through. Did you finish the demo?
Yes, I finished the demo. I sorry. The first Metal Gear Solid game on the PS1, not the ones on the MSX. Yeah. I remember playing a demo, just being blown away by the fact that games could make me feel nervous and. And there was so much tension just trying to sneak away from people. So yeah, I loved it from the first one. I haven't finished everyone. I played.
So which ones have you finished?
The first one, the fourth one, not the fifth one, and I don't think I played. I didn't play much of the third. I started playing it even a couple of years ago and didn't bother. I might have finished the second one.
What?
So you played 2 of his games?
Well, no, I've played them all. I just haven't finished them all.
So let me ask you this, right? Because I don't really care if you finish them or not.
Yeah, who cares?
So what then? So you're a fan of Kojima? Is that fair to say?
Oh yeah,
and his work.
I've loved his work. Yeah.
So what is it about his work that you love? What was the? This is obviously a completely new concepts, new IP, all that sort of stuff. Like, what is it that you were looking forward to experiencing? Was it the story? Was it the gameplay? What is
it wasn't the story?
Was top of your list?
Because the stories haven't been fantastic. Basically, I see him as like a true like visionary person in games, and I'm just fascinated to see what he does, why he does it. It's not just some random team making another sort of military shooter or something. I feel like his games have messages, and I just want to see how he sees the world and how he interprets that through games. Yeah, he's a fascinating individual.
Do you mean So do you mean like he's a visionary in terms of like game design, or in terms of story and that kind of thing?
No, I said definitely not story. In terms of game design, in terms of cinematic experiences and the way he brings characters in, and like his games have been cinematic to say the least, and I'm just fascinated to see what he does, especially like new technology.
Cool, right. So how long have you had with this game? Like, how far into it are you?
I'm only my clock says I'm almost 9 hours in.
It's a fair chunk.
Yeah, I feel like I barely disgraced.
I was going to say, grand scheme of things.
I've been so excited for this game for so long, and I was like, last week I was like desperate to try and get it on Thursday, and I ordered it from Simply Games, thinking I'll maybe get it early. It didn't get it early. I went to an Asda near work on the Wednesday. I think it was Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday. And I thought, okay, maybe I'll try and get the game early. So I like it's like a big like Asda George. And I got the game case that says out on the 11th. I thought, well, I might better get some poor unsuspecting person behind the till to get it.
Can I just say, right, because I've done shit like this before in the past, right? As a fully grown man, I have done shit like this in the past. How nervous were you going up there? Because even though it's the most stupid thing and all they can say is, no, it's not out yet or whatever, my heart would still be pumping, my face would be red. I'm terrible at stuff like this.
I was pretty nervous, but I thought I'm just going to have to own it because otherwise it's just going to blow off my face. Anyway, so I got a case downstairs. There wasn't any cases upstairs, even though that's where the games are sold, whatever. But I looked at the till and there's a bunch of people on there. I was like, no, I'm not going to do it this way. Took it upstairs and there's just one woman on the till. I was like, this is it. This is perfect. I was with my mate from work there, and so I was like, I'll go on my own because if you're there with me, it'll just go wrong. So I went up to the till, and then I went twice.
Please say she turned around and said, "Holy shit, Matt Murray from the computer game show. How you doing?"
obviously that didn't happen. So I went up and said, "Hey, I'd like to buy this, please." He goes, "Oh yeah, sure." And I just played it cool. I was like, just get
a cigarette, sunglasses on.
Yeah, like punch the jukebox. I was like, here we go, babe, one of these, please. and one for yourself. I was just like, I'd like to buy this, please.
I've got Stadia money now.
I'm on 20 quid richer, babe. I just say, can I buy this, please? She goes, yeah, sure. And I, just chilled out by the till. Looked at my phone. And then I was like looking over at her, and then she like
security turned up, the police.
No,
pressed the panic button underneath.
I was just like the idea of me, Matt, going like, "Can I buy this, please?"
Oh no, it wasn't that. It was
I'll a beer, please.
Patrick, can I buy the computer game? It's definitely out today, isn't it? In a way. Anyway, she walked off like behind the counter, and I was looking over, but also trying to not look over. And then she went to like all his drawers at the back of the cabinet, and I was like, oh my god, she's actually doing it. Also, first of all, when I gave her the case, she looked at it, and I was like, fuck, she's gonna say. Well, it says here 8 for the 11th, and she looked at it
immediately
and
arrest anyone trying to.
She carried on. I was like, "This is brilliant."
Yeah, she looked at it and said to you, "This is our mixed reviews, isn't it?"
What shop was this in? What Asda was this in?
It's Asda George in Leeds.
In Leeds, right? Okay. If anyone knows someone that works there, can we please get the CCTV footage for how you?
I mean, that's a very small Venn diagram.
I think legally, can't you request it?
I think we can.
Yeah, freedom of information.
We can.
Anyway,
that's going up on YouTube.
She looked at it and I was like, it's over now, but she carried on walking. I was like, brilliant. Then she put the case down and like started rifling through the drawers behind the till. I was like, oh my god, if it's in, so and this is Wednesday, and I think at that point I know like Shop 2 and some others had already got stock in. I was like, if it's in there, got stock in, she's going to sell it to me. So she was like flicking for every single game and like opening multiple drawers, flicking.
Oh, the longer it goes on, the worse it gets.
I was like, okay, if it's in stock, which it might be because loads of retailers have it today, she's going to sell it to me right now. And then she looked through loads and she'd come up to me and she was like, oh, I'm sorry, it must be out of stock. And I'm like, oh, okay, don't worry about it. I was like, do you want me to take the case back to the front? She goes, oh, don't worry. If it's sold out, I'll keep it here. I'm like, okay, goodbye. That was Wednesday. On Thursday, I went back.
Though, Matt, you know what would have happened?
What?
She would have scanned it and it would have said, like, not available or whatever.
Well, yeah, but I was willing to take that risk. Anyway, that was Wednesday. Okay. I went back on Thursday. Because I thought...
Not the same person.
It was the same person, yeah.
Oh my God! Go on.
Because I thought, hang on, it's Thursday, they'll definitely have stock now. So, same thing, went downstairs, grabbed the case, went upstairs.
Did she recognise you?
No, thankfully. Although I wasn't wearing my yellow hat and took my glasses off. I'm like... I'm not a Superman.
Go back with a series of fucking wigs and...
Totally different guy.
Put on one of those glasses with a big nose and a little moustache underneath it.
Anyway, yeah, but I was way more nervous.
Matt Murray getting on his wife's shoulders with a big overcoat over the both of them.
I was way more nervous this day because actually there was loads of people at till, customers and other members of staff. When I went there, I was like, oh shit, I'm not sure if I want the same person because one, she might recognise me, but also I kind of did because I knew that last time she had just gone to check without even checking
it's
it.
true.
Anyway,
yeah, it's risk reward.
Front of till again. I'm like, hey, I'd like to buy this. She looked at me. She looked at the game. She walked off. I was like, hey, brilliant. She hasn't clocked me at all. She hasn't twigged.
Were you still wearing dark glasses, Matt? And like a hat
again, she's looked at the game and looked at the date. No, nothing. And then, anyway, she walks back. She checks all the drawers. I'm like, if it's in stock, it's mine. All the drawers. And then she's like, looks at me and does the sort of hands up things as if to say, I can't find it. And then she talks to a manager next to her.
Oh no!
Oh fuck!
A manager next to her saying, "Yeah, I'm trying to find this game. I might go out back to find it." She goes, "Okay, cool." I was like, "Okay, well, surely this is it now." She went out back. And I was like, "Really?" I was struggling to keep it cool at that point. There's only so many times you can look at your phone, acting nonchalant. She came back and said, oh, "I'm really sorry. It's sold out." I'm like, "Oh, really? Okay, cool." She goes, "Yeah, I don't want to tell you." I was like, "Okay, well, thanks." And that was that. And I didn't get it. Twice I tried. And
thanks for sharing that story.
This is brilliant. We spent about 5 minutes finding out you didn't get a game.
We need to get that CCTV footage.
Yeah.
We need to get it.
Yeah, for both nights. I can't believe it.
Oh, absolutely.
Can't believe it.
See how wildly different your disguise is. Like, no.
Yeah, I think it's just lack of that. Anyway, Death Stranding.
We'll send a photo in. Can we have the CCTV footage of this man? Well, we haven't got that, but we got this guy who's clearly wearing like prosthetics and a wig. That might be him.
7 hours in makeup.
It's Death Stranding then. Come on,
so
you're 9 hours in.
Yeah, I think so.
Yep.
James, have you played it this week?
No.
Oh, are you really?
No.
I really thought you've been really quiet this week, and I thought maybe James has done like a James Farley special, and he hasn't said anything. But actually, because he'll just be, he'll have to see what it's like. He would have like played it and tried it just so we can have a different view to me. But that's a shame.
Actually, Matt, I have played it.
You serious?
I know that he's been playing it.
Yeah.
He texted me last week and said, I need to verify Matt's thoughts on this game. I'm going to buy it.
I knew.
You're saying you don't trust him, James.
He's been freaking out about getting trophies and them going on. And I said, look, mate, at one point I said, just go online with it. Whatever will be, will be.
Yeah, I never check that stuff anyway. So
fair play, Matt. You called him out. That is incredible.
It was obvious. Like we haven't really spoken this week, and I was like, "This is such a massive game. I know you're going to want a view to basically argue against me." So, well, I'm glad you played it.
It's not necessarily that, Matt. We'll see, won't we? You know what?
Well, hold on, James. Fair play to Matt for that. I swear on my life I didn't even hint or talk to him about this at all. He has called you out on a major scale here.
I've done a good job, Matt, because I've been very careful. I mean, I've been in offline mode for like the entire time.
I knew you were doing that. I knew you were doing that.
Yeah.
All right, okay. Well, so that's all out in the open. Fucking hell,
I'm
that's
well glad
amazing.
I caught you on that. I just thought, He's going to do that. And no one else would, but I guarantee James will, because you haven't said much about it.
You do know me well. So,
so
how far... Wait, so you're 9 hours into it, Matt. You're on chapter what?
I'm still on chapter 2, yeah.
Right, and James?
About 12 hours in. I'm on chapter 3.
Right,
awesome.
Okay, fine. So that's where you are in the game. I really want to hear Matt's point of view. And maybe Sean and I will probably just go quiet for a little bit and let you two discuss the points that you want to discuss.
So should I just get like the basics of the game out of the way? So
yeah, absolutely, yeah. Go through a quick rundown of the story so far and...
well, I mean, actually, what I'm going to do is, because I know people like when we worry about spoilers, I'm not actually going to talk about any like story beats. I'm basically going to talk about the premise, really. I'm not going to talk about any of like... I've only on chapter 2, so I'm still in like the initial sort of area. James may have almost only got further than me, but I'm not going to talk about any like major story beats. Just like mechanics and I guess like my thoughts of the game. But I'm not going to there's be no spoilers in terms of that. Just really the basic premise.
Right, let's go.
I didn't actually like watch the launch trailer. Did you all watch the launch trailer? The one last week was like 8 minutes long.
I heard it had loads of spoilers in, so I...
Yeah, I heard that, yeah. So
I don't think I'm bothered now,
I'm not saying
yeah.
the people actually know. Anyway, you play as this guy called Sam Porter Bridges. He's played by Norman Reedus from The Walking Dead. Also, his motorbike show on AMC, and I'll talk about that a little bit later. You as Sam Porter Bridges, you're a man delivering packages across America. And basically it's set in the aftermath of this like cataclysmic event. I'm not sure so at that point I'm not sure if you know what the event is, but something's happened. Basically there's like invisible creatures called BTs around, and they're deadly, and they roam the earth from this mystical realm. I'm going to say that much. And your job is basically you're sent on a mission to go from east of America to west, delivering packages, equipment, supplies to these like remote outposts along the way. And in doing so, you're sort of building what they call strands across America, connecting society and whatnot. These strands, as you go to locations, you're actually making these outposts go online on a thing called the chiral network. So as well as like meeting people, you're also like basically connecting communities and cities and towns to a thing called the chiral network. As you go on your way, you're like given like missions to deliver packages. That's basically what the game is. You're delivering packages, and so there are various locations to drop them off. There's like a location where someone says, "I want you to take this here," or you can just drop them off at other places or other online players to deliver those packages. Whenever you do anything in this game, really, be that delivering packages or building a structure, you get likes, and that's like the currency of the game. You use those likes to upgrade your own abilities. Those abilities such as, I think it's things like the amount of stuff you can carry, stability, so on and so forth. So likes are basically the big currency. And yeah, it's an incredibly online game. You see other ladders, you see ropes, you see bridges, you see other things other people online have left to navigate their way across the environment. And these aren't just stuff from your friends list, because I was worried that I've only got like a very, very small friends list. Would I see nothing? But now I'm seeing loads of bridges and things that other people built in the world to help them navigate. And it's really cool seeing those things in the environment that will help you get to where you need to get to. You also have a BB, which is a bridge baby. That's his baby housed in like this glass like jar container that straps your chest. Both you and BB can sense these BTs, these enemies. And basically, but you have this cool thing on his suit that tells you where they are, and that flashes and so on and so forth. I'll come back.
See, that's one side of the whole thing that I didn't understand, because I assumed that the game was that, I don't know, for whatever reason, populating the earth is a really hard thing to do, and this was a way of doing it. But what I mean, why has he got the baby strapped to him?
So the babies, I mean, BBs, as far as I'm aware, and I'm
why are they BBs?
They call them, but this game is a mess of giving everything like acronyms like that, and it's a fucking nightmare. But go on.
So I haven't actually found out like the actual like reason, but yeah, they're called BBs, basically bridge babies. I haven't quite learned why they're called that, but basically they can sense these BTs in this other realm between life and death.
So you're using the baby as a
radar.
radar, basically.
It's a mechanic, right? Okay.
Yeah, you basically plug the baby into yourself and into your suit, and then both the BB gets like distressed when you're near these enemies, and also your suit goes crazy to show you where they're going to be. So BBs are there, they can sense BTs, and basically they're only like faint outlines, but as I said, like the suit tells you the location, and if they grab you, basically these things called void outs happen. Basically, you get killed, and a massive crater happens, and I think it permanently might like affect the environment. Anyway, if they grab you, you're fucked basically. And then there's other enemies.
Can you defeat them?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I believe you can. At this point, for me, I can't. But I want to hear from James in a minute. So mules are another enemy you'll see around the landscape. They're basically these sort of like they're essentially like bandit porters doing the same job you're doing, but they're trying to steal packages. They're basically like if you work for DPD, these are like those UPS guys who are trying to like beat you up and nick your packages. So they're in like these little like campsites, and you can go in there and like nick stuff on them and kill them, I guess. But they're also there in certain areas to attack you, basically. And there's a bunch of other mechanics, but essentially the game is you're delivering packages. James, what do you think?
Whoa! No.
Oh, okay.
What do you think?
Yeah, cards on the table, Matt.
No, you think. I mean, so far, I absolutely love it. But I mean, 9 hours in, and obviously, like the game is only like a 60-odd hour game. Maybe it might change, but yeah, so far, I absolutely love all of it. Really, even the bits a lot of people say are annoying, such as the traversing the environment. I actually think that's brilliant, and actually the bits that have the most action are the bits I'm finding least entertaining at the moment. So,
okay, right. So, why do you love it?
I think it looks absolutely gorgeous for a kickoff. Like you're in this massive open environment. It feels like you're in Norway rather than America. It's just like huge mountains in the background, loads of like huge luscious green valleys with like rivers and lakes and stuff. And you can, it feels like wherever you see, you can go to. And just traversing. When you walk around on your own, it's a standard sort of walking simulator actually in many ways. But then when you have loads of luggage on your back, loads of cargo, every step becomes a bit more arduous. And I can fully see why some people might think, well, this is rubbish. I'm walking slow. It's not satisfying. You're constantly having to balance constantly having to balance the cargo by pressing L2 and R2 to make sure you're sort of your center of gravity is balanced. And
so it's a case of you're walking along, but you're holding down L and R?
No. So you walk along with the stick as you would do normally, but depending on what angle of sort of landscape you're walking up and down, if you're going up a mountain or hill or whatever, or if it's wet, or if you're going over rocks, then basically you will lose your balance. And then what happens then? You hold L2 and R2 to sort of steady yourself, and then
is it like a QTE?
No.
Is it like the bit in Heavy Rain where James kept sliding down the mod?
Yeah, is it like that?
It's not a QTE. You just see Sam sort of starting to lose balance, and the cargo about to topple over, and there's loads of exaggerated animation for that, and you just like press L2 and R2 to steady yourself, and then you keep going.
That sounds like QTE.
No, because the QTE means you've got to do it at the right time, and there's like things flashing on screen. I'm just find myself holding L2 and R2 a lot. It
doesn't have to flash on screen. It
does flash on the screen.
Yeah, but it's not like quick pressing that. It didn't feel like a QT to me. It's just a mechanic way.
So what happens if you don't press it?
I assume you fall over.
So why is this different from a QTE?
Well, because when I think QT, I think like quick button presses flash up on screen. This is just like you hold down them to steady yourself when you go on. But
so it's like it's a like a permanent system. It's not just.
Yeah. It's a permanent sort of physics mechanic and system. Yeah. Anyway, but no,
rather than just being like a scripted bit. I understand what you're saying, Dave.
Yeah, it's not a scripted event. It's just permanently part of the mechanic.
It doesn't like flash up and say press A now, like it does in other games. Yeah, it's not like that. It's a bit more subtle.
But yeah, I just think traversing the environment is fantastic. It feels like a massive journey, really, just going from one location to the other. I've got a vehicle now, so it makes it a bit easier. But just walking from place to place feels like a massive, arduous adventure, especially when it then starts pissing down and then the BTs come. And I think those bits are incredibly tense because you basically have to like walk incredibly slowly or stop, and these like weird humanoid sort of shapes will try and surround you. There's a mechanic to hold your breath as well because they can sense that whilst you're waiting for them to sort of like go past you. But so some journeys you may not be going that far really in the grand scheme of things, but with all like the car going your back and you can hear every breath, every step with like the rain teeming down at you. I think the journey itself is really, really fantastic.
Two quick things. Yeah. Firstly, James, with the balancing thing, have you had any trouble with that?
No, not particularly. It's
okay, so it's not a QTE.
No.
The next the next thing I want to ask, Matt, you're talking about the mechanics, and I get that, and there's a lot to talk about that, but you've not really explained why you've been loving it. Like what is it about these mechanics and that? Because the story you feel that you haven't seen enough of or whatever.
I'm interested. I can't wait to learn more. But the story hasn't grabbed me. But it's just like the whole atmosphere, the whole vibe of the whole thing is really, really compelling.
And what is it about that vibe? Like, what is it evoking in you?
It's evoking things like The Road, which is one of my all-time favourite books. And I also like the film, which is it's rare to say that after reading a book. But the feeling of sort of, just you being on your own against the elements, it feels very lonely. But no, I just think from the look, from the graphics, from the vibe, from the music, from just the way it makes you feel, I'm really, really digging it right now. Even arguably it's a simple delivery mechanic. You just you get an order, you collect cargo, you take it to another place. That at the moment for me is satisfying, and I'm enjoying the gameplay loop. Again, like 60 hours down the line, maybe that'll change, but for now at least, I'm really interested, and I can't wait to get back to it to play more. It's not perfect by any means, and I can fully see why someone would give it a 6, and also see why someone would give it close to a 9. But yeah, it's a stunning game. Even if that doesn't necessarily mean stunning as in stunning and it's a 10 out of 10, but it's a stunning game to sort of experience, to look at, and it's mad that it's been made. It's totally weird already, and I've barely got into like the big story bits. I guess I assume it only gets madder, and it's just a really fascinating piece of work. I'm still trying to get my head around it, but I'm enjoying it nonetheless.
Okay. James, you start. Matt, you interject when you need to inject, and let the fireworks begin.
Okay, so as I said, I've played this for 12 hours, and I'll be honest, I found the first 9 hours quite miserable. Like overall, it was, and I nearly gave up at one point. Like at one point, I was like, "This is not fun at all," and I just cannot be bothered.
What happened for you need to almost give up? Exactly.
It was when I was travelling from one point to another, and I got attacked by like BTs, and then
was this on the way to the wind farm?
No. That was that was a more interesting journey, which I'll come to, because this is the thing about this, because so far, I nearly gave up, but then I was like, okay, I'm still gonna like persevere and continue on with this, and I'm kind of glad that I did, because I am enjoying it actually, and it's become significantly better after Chapter 3, because a bunch of things happen that make a lot of the problems with the game like less of an issue.
What are your problems with the game?
Okay, so my problems with the game mostly are controls. The controls system is garbage, and also the way that you manage inventory and all that kind of thing is also terrible. The menu.
What's garbage about the controls?
Well, okay, first of all, they keep on introducing new systems all the time. Like there's continuously introducing like new things you can do, but without giving you any time to really sort of like, one of the things that Nintendo are really good at is like introducing, like some new mechanic, then you get the chance to like practice using it, and then you master it, and it's fine. With this, they just keep adding new stuff all the time, and don't really give you the situation within which you're going to actually practice using it. So,
have you got an example of that?
Let me think. I'd think probably like the grenades when they first introduced those. You do get the chance to use them like later on, and they do work out a lot better. But if you just open up like the menu system, right, and then have a look at the data section.
I hate games where like you go to like a bit and it's like maybe it's got a lore section or something, and it's got little icons next to the things you haven't read. Why do games do that? I think like the Division was mental for that. There were thousands in the Division with like this little yellow things. I was like, I don't want that in my life. I want to get rid of them, and I have to go through every single menu trying to find the things I haven't read to get that stupid thing. This has got hundreds really in this data section of like in a massive long list.
And that's what's bad about it, because you look at that and you're like, okay, they've introduced all of these concepts, but they haven't really explained them, and they're expecting me to now go into this menu and read all this stuff. And there's like literally like 100 or so, like of just like with quite dense text, like for each one. And you're just thinking, okay, I could sit here and read all these, but I don't know which of these I'm going to need. I don't know how to, like, when I'm going to like implement them, like, you know, as I'm playing. That I found irritating. And also, I mean, the general menu systems, I think, are not very good either.
The menus are dense and insane.
And also very tiny font, again. Like, this is another game with tiny fonts, which is really very irritating. And also, I mean, the way that the information is presented to you is not clear at all. Like, it's all it is. I mean, it's one of those things where you have to sit. I mean, I had to sit down and just think, okay, I need to learn how to use this. And you look at it and you're like, okay, actually, it's not complicated. Like, it's once you've figured out like the logic of how it's all been like laid out, it makes sense. It's not. It does work, but it's still not very intuitive, like when you first look at it, and which is irritating. You know, you're the whole time for the first, I know, 7 or 8 hours of the game, I wasn't sure if I was missing stuff all the time, which that I maybe needed to use to get through it. But then after a while, you discover that actually it doesn't really matter. Like a lot of that stuff.
I haven't really discovered that. I mean, yes, like the menus are dense and insane, and there's lots of them and information everywhere. But I knew what I was basically doing, and if I had to look at something, I just found a data section. I'd rather, like, the data section is annoying because you can't filter it or like search within it. Like that's how many things are in it. You wish there was a search bar. But yeah, I mean, I don't mind the fact, okay, if I've got to do something, learning about it and then doing it. I don't expect everything to be given to me on a plate, but I can also see why it would annoy someone. But I haven't really had that yet, but I've just got the grenades now, so maybe that will start to annoy me. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, it's more of it's one of those things where, like I said, it's like you can learn how to use it, and that's fine, but it doesn't really need to be like that. Like, it doesn't have to be cryptic. Like, what's the point? Like, why add like an extra layer of like between the player and what they're trying to do?
It's in the data section. Like, am I missing something?
No, not that. I mean, just in general, like the way that the systems work. It's not very intuitive. I mean, anybody that said that Red Dead Redemption 2 was like complicated in terms of control should play this game, because it's far more complicated, like the way it works. I mean, look, let me give you an example. If you want to like equip stuff that you want to use, you have to, first of all, you hold down like the right button on the D-pad. Then it brings up like a radial menu. And then if you like, you look at the stuff on there and you think, okay, maybe what I need is not on here. Then you have to like press the right stick in to get another radial menu, and then you go through like various like layers of radial menus to get to what you want. It's odd. Like it's like a very odd way of organising like the system, and quite irritating if you're right in the middle of being attacked or something like that. It's not terribly well designed, like the way that works. But that's by the by. That's that, and it's also, and the menu systems I think don't work so well. But then also the other thing with the traversal and like navigating the world on foot, it's fine. It's not too bad. I've quite enjoyed like doing the stuff like like climbing rock climbing, putting up the ladders, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah,
that's quite fun. That's enjoyable, especially when you're like abseiling off the sides of like mountains and stuff. With all your packages on the back.
In a couple of instances, I had like feels almost a bit like Breath of the Wild, and I could whatever I see I can go, but then it really annoyed me, the fact that I was like, okay, wow, there's a massive mountain, I'm sure I can go around it, but actually I want to see if I can climb it. And I was like, I was climbing loads and like using ladders and stuff. And then I got to Peter, I was like, well, I know there's like a gap there and get through. And I got my ladder out, but it was just like, it flashed red to signify there was no place to place the ladder. So it made me feel like there's a game I can just go wherever I want, but actually there are limits. So that sort of took me out of it a bit.
I mean, it's not a very friendly environment to navigate at all. And you could say, okay, then maybe that's part of what the world is. But also, like if you look at something like Breath of the Wild, like that, there's areas of that which are supposed to be dangerous and like not pleasant, like places like volcanoes and stuff like that. But they're still fun to like sort of try and get around. This, I don't find that quite so much. Although, as I said, the walking side is not so bad. But then, unfortunately, when they introduce vehicles, that's when it really falls apart.
Yeah, I got a bike earlier,
They're horrible, Matt. Like they are absolutely horrible to drive. Like I have never played a game with vehicle handling as bad as these. Like they have no physics whatsoever.
Did you ever play Toca Race Driver on? No, did you play like touring car on the sand? Because that was.
What about Juiced?
But no, it's horrible because also you're going like between areas where there's like rocks everywhere, and it's like it's really easy to like clip rocks all the time, and like there's no. I mean, you can build roads.
Stick to the path, James. If this was real life, you wouldn't be taking a motorbike over a rock, would you?
I have seen a lot of videos on Twitter and stuff, which are as someone not playing the game, are very funny, of like just funny crashes and stuff. But given the premise of the game, is that not really fucking annoying when that happens?
It's very, very annoying, Sean. Yeah, and it's just the fact that they have, and it's not just the fact that they handle badly; they feel horrible to drive as well. Mm-hmm. Like they don't, Okay, there's a game that I want to compare this to, and that's Days Gone, because Days Gone had a lot of issues, but they absolutely nailed how to get around on vehicles in that game, and it felt really nice to ride bikes in that game. In this is like the absolute opposite of that. It feels horrible, and in many cases I'd much rather not even bother taking vehicles if I could avoid it, just because they feel so horrible to drive. I mean,
that feels so strange because when I hear people talking about that game, like the idea of a game that forces you to walk everywhere for such a long period of time, and then unlocking a vehicle, surely that's they're making.
You'd think that would feel
so good.
But then imagine that you're like, okay, I've got a vehicle now that I can drive, but there's just fucking rocks everywhere, so that you can't actually drive it. You can build roads. It's true, you can do that, but you have to gather resources and things to build roads to make it so it's flat and all that kind of thing, so that you can do that. But if you're trying to, for example, have you got to the weather station yet, Matt?
I went to the wind farm and I've gone back to the main place now.
Okay, because I'm a bit ahead of you, and at one point, it's not really a spoiler, but you go to a weather station, and
for fuck's
and that was a really weird journey, because I travelled most of it on a bike across just rocks everywhere, and it was terrible. And I got to a river, and then my bike crashed. I lost all my cargo, and my bike went, I don't know where it went, it just disappeared down in the river. And then I ended up having to try and fish all my parcels and stuff out of the river, and then carried it up to the weather station. But actually I got there and I did the objective that I needed to, and now I'm standing at the top of this place and I'm thinking, I need to get back to the city, and there's BTs all around me here, and there's also mules and everything. I haven't got a bike, and it's going to take me ages to get back there. I don't know what to do. But that may sound irritating, but actually I kind of like that. I was like, it was kind of my fault that this has gone the way it has. And now I've got to try and figure out how to fix it. And I quite like that. I mean, that is something I'm finding enjoyable about this, actually.
Yeah, the sense of adventure is really great. Yeah. And to walk in for so long, and as I said, it can be a really tough journey, but when you go over the peak of a mountain or whatever, and you see the place you're getting to, it's like, oh my God, thank God. Thank God I've got through all the BTs and the rain and all the shit beforehand. So, there's a real sense of adventure and satisfaction when you get to your journey, your destination.
But it's what's funny about it is that I'm really enjoying this game to a degree, mostly because of the atmosphere in it. And that's the atmosphere that you're getting from these journeys that you're undertaking, where you have the driving rain and all that kind of stuff, or whether you can get over a mountain or whatever. And as Matt said, it does look amazing. This is probably the best game I've seen this generation. It looks so good in places, amazingly, just really, really nice. But the only other thing is, the story in the exposition is really weak, and the acting is not that great, is it, Matt? Let's be honest.
Really?
Acting, I'm fine with for the most part. This exposition is insane. Basically, this game feels like it's got loads of mystical and strange things in it, and I love that, and I love sort of ambiguous sort of movies and TVs and books and TV shows and books and stuff. I just love that. That really speaks to me, and I think this game's will be about that. But then there's a conversation with people, and they literally explain everything. And I sort of want them to not do that or do it differently, you have you'll get emails as well from other people you've met, and they're like, "Hey, did you know this? Because this and that." But I was like, I don't need to know that. I want actually more mystery for a game where everyone's like, "What is this game about? This game doesn't make sense," and. all the trailers, were just crazy and no one knew what it was about. Then the actual game itself explains way more than I wanted to.
And that's the thing, because when this is what I mean about like the exposition, like the dialogue, it's not well written like at all, and they do just keep hammering the same points over and over again. It's very obvious what they're trying to tell you all the time, and this is particularly after playing like Outer Worlds. I just feel the writing is not great. It's like there's no subtlety at all to it, and it's just they just keep hammering the same points like across all the time. But saying that, the way it is presented is often incredible, and there are like visual scenes in this that I have found like really touching. And what I mean by that, I don't mean that in a kind of like sort of, how do I put this?
Pixar?
No, not like that at all. But in the sense of like things which sort of that you feel some connection with the things, particularly like the figures in the sky, like you see that right at the beginning of the game. It's been
it's really haunting, but I love that.
Incredibly haunting, and there's a lot of in the game which is like that, and I really dig that. It really like speaks to me, that does, because it looks at me and there's some sort of like primal instinct you get from seeing something like that. I don't know what it is, but it's incredible. Like that stuff is one of the reasons I'm still playing this game, is because the atmosphere is really something else, like in this, more than anything else.
It uses music really well, doesn't it? What do you think about the music? Because it does a thing, it reminds me a little bit of Life is Strange, only because Life is Strange is the only game that's done anything really with music that I've really remember. But you'll come to a bit, it seems to happen, random places, but often when you're sort of traversing these huge landscapes, and you'll get on, you'll start travelling, and suddenly a song title, an artist, and also the record label will appear in the bottom right-hand corner, and then all the rest of the sounds from the game will go down, and you'll just mostly be hearing the song. And I've had some amazing moments where I've been like walking, and you'll see like an upside down like rainbow, or maybe it starts pissing down with rain, or maybe the sun comes up, or you come up to the crest of a mountain and this song was playing. It really does evoke a lot of the same feelings and stuff I love about those scenes in Life is Strange.
Yeah, it's similar to. They did it in Red Dead Redemption as well. Like it's that.
That as well, for sure. Yeah,
it's that same sort of feeling, and it works very well in this. That is another like plus point. So, this is the thing. I'm not really disagreeing with you, Matt, because I am enjoying this game. It's just the tiny stuff, the way that like some of the systems work and everything, I find irritating. Is the only thing, and just the vehicles are just so bad. Like,
I just think it's a fascinating game. But one of the things that fascinates me most is the product placement.
Yeah.
Now, like you've probably seen, like you can drink Monster
the Monster's
Energy.
The big thing.
You see that, and you have this like private area where you can sleep and shower and stuff, and there's cans of Monster there. That doesn't bother me. It's a bit weird, but it doesn't bother me. But then you've also got like a shower and toilet in your private area. And as soon as you go for a shower or shit or piss, like you have this. Is it? Who's the scientist guy who's obsessed with your piss and shit, James? What's his called?
I can't remember his name. But yeah, he's
the scientist guy. Is basically like, please. Yeah, it might be Hartman. Yeah, basically, like, please, like, piss in this. We need it for like the studies of science. Anyway, that's weird. But like the thing is, you'll press to either have a shower or sit down or stand up toilets, and then adverts appear on the other side of the shower cubicle. One of which is for like Norman Reedus's
it's for his own TV show.
TV show. I think it's called Ride. It's like I presume it's him traveling America on his motorbike with celebrities and stuff. And it's just like that doesn't even work in the context of the game. Like who's watching that?
Yeah, but then nor does the Monster stuff though, right? No, but who's making it if it's a complete like mess?
Monster could have worked, because before this thing happened, maybe there's like they might have found a factory with 1 million cans of Monster. That makes more sense than like they're advertising the game with him. Sorry, the TV show. There's a picture of him as the actor in the TV show, but he's also the character. It's like, I don't know, it doesn't annoy me. It's a fascinating idea that they thought that would be sensible to put in the game.
There's a bunch of things like that with like when you're in this room with him, he like winks at you and stuff as well. It's like. It's all sort of like
he winks at the camera.
He basically looks at you and also does the sort of like thumbing as if like something behind him, as if say, "Hey, shower, toilet."
Wait, that totally goes against.
It's very weird.
Everything that you've said that you like about the game, like the atmosphere and the world building, and
you'd
all of a sudden it's doing that.
No, you'd say that, but for some reason, Dave, it kind of works. I feel.
Oh, come on, really?
No, really. It kind of works. It's no, I can't explain it.
Okay, well, you've played it. You know the context. I don't, but the way you're describing it sounds horrendous.
The advert stuff doesn't work. Like, obviously, I don't like that. But the winking at the camera stuff and everything, it's, I don't know. It feels like you've then got a connection with the character who's like, he's like letting you in that he knows you're there.
What is the camera? What's he winking at? What is that?
He's winking at the camera, isn't he? Obviously, that's you.
Yeah, but what is the camera in the world? What is it?
Well, exactly. I don't know.
I mean, I would much rather it wasn't in there for sure. But it is weird. But there's also like models you can interact with miniature models.
From Mario Kart, Lakatu or whatever his name is. Well, how do you say
Lakitu.
that?
Yeah.
Lakitu. Imagine if it was him. Turns around, just taps in the mirror.
You can also interact with like miniature models or things you might have engaged with, like BTs and this and the other. So yeah, that whole room is weird. But the game itself, I am absolutely loving. Like I said earlier, I can fully see why someone would not want to play it and dislike it, and other people would love it. I'm definitely on the loving it side right now, but I'm very early on. I get impression from people who have said they haven't liked it is that they expect it to push on and move on, but actually it might not. But so far, anyway, I think it's fantastic. The atmosphere, the way it looks, the vibe. I'm just really happy. I'm just like amazed this sort of game's made, and like really thankful that this sort of game has been made. Rather this than
one thing that I've been thinking about while you've been talking is, so I'm assuming that the missions that you go on are varied, and you never really know what you're getting into.
No,
each
not
time,
at all.
right?
That's the other thing that is. You see, the thing is I can really see why I think a lot of people that were reviewing this hated this or were not fans of it, because it is very repetitive. Like the tasks you do, it really is. You're just taking just packages from one place to another. That's it, and then you get like.
Wait, it can't.
What?
That can't be the case.
How do you mean?
Well, one of Matt's big complaints about Red Dead Redemption 2 was that you knew exactly what you were going into each time you did a mission, and it was that he called it last gen because of that. But you're positive about it. I'm confused.
I mean, yeah, like the missions are incredibly samey, but I'm enjoying the traversing the environment. I mean, like I said, I'm only like 8 or 9 hours in.
See, I don't really understand that.
Should have voted for Red Dead as Game of the Year last year. Then I reckon we should have voted for Red Dead for Game of the Year.
I preferred Astrobot. Not talking about Red Dead.
It was overrated.
But also, this is the first game of this type. This isn't like the fifth game where the missions are all the same, like the GTA anyway, regardless.
James,
missions.
That's the other thing, because I wouldn't really say this is anything new. Like, really, it's like, I mean, it's you're. There's been other games where you've taken things from one place to another. It's basically loads of fetch quests. It's like, I wouldn't say that it's like a new form of gameplay or anything like that, because it's really not. It's
what genre would you put it in though?
Open world fetch quest genre. It's like
that's not a genre. Go on, James. What? How do you define it genre wise? Because it's more like a walking simulator, isn't it?
I don't know.
It can't be.
I'd say
walking simulators are just walking around, picking up notes and reading shit.
It's an open world adventure game, isn't it? That's what it is.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
It's not. I mean, I really don't think it's anything new. I mean, what I think this game does very well is the atmosphere and that side of it. But the system side of it, I still think is not good. Like, really, and it's. I think if reviewers were because there was that whole thing like with Edge, like they were like saying they had to finish it before they were allowed to like review it or whatever. If you were trying to rush through this to get it done, I can see why that would really piss you off.
It must be hell.
Yeah, because
this is one thought that I had, because when I was reading up about this game and what it does, it kind of felt like, oh my god, is this like the biggest trolling of the video game review scene of all time? Like, because people say, all the reviews I was reading, all the negative ones I was reading, were saying, oh my god, it's just so boring just walking from one place to the next. And then after it come out, like, people were going, well, you don't need to do that because there's stuff built for you everywhere for all your friends online. And I just thought, what a genius idea. He's completely fucked the gaming press by releasing a game just that they can only play at that time where barely anyone's building everything. And by the time it gets to the public, it's populated with shit to make the game a lot easier for everyone. Yeah. I kind of like that idea,
really
but
amazing.
It's not really the case. No,
it's really amazing sort of seeing other bridges being built, and I've had to build my own bridge now.
That may change my opinion of the game because I haven't done any of that because I wasn't online with it. So there may be a lot more there that will make getting around a lot easier.
But you will be now. You can play it online.
Yeah, I mean, because you still get stuff, but there's...
You might as well played it online from day one.
Yeah, I know.
That called you out.
I wouldn't have noticed.
It's I don't know.
You might have done if you'd have come across one of his bridges or whatever.
Yeah, that's what
I would have said JCA Farley built this.
Yeah. Possibly, yeah. I mean, like I said, I've only got like a super limited friends list, so I was like, am I going to see anything in the game? But then all the people I've seen...
Wait, is this random... Matt admitting that he's unfriended you on PSN? Because it sounds like it. It's interesting, right? Because hearing what you've been saying, and it's funny because when the reviews come out, I was very much like, I do not want to play this game. Mm-hmm. There's far too many people trying to make excuses for it. Like even the positive reviews, it sounded like, but the more I've heard about it, like because I was thinking when this game hits the public, the noise about this game, the conversation around this game is going to be very, very different. I thought there's going to be a lot of people slating this when it comes out, and I haven't really noticed that. I've not really seen that.
I think it's the backlash to the backlash. It's people that don't want to believe like the reviews. But I don't think
I don't think there was an initial backlash, James.
There was lots of people saying stuff like. I mean, there was that Limmy thing, wasn't there?
There was a few, but there was more people praising it.
Everyone thinks, "Oh God, this game's been destroyed." It's got like Metacritic of like 80 something, and there was the IGN review,
there was that whole
which was like 6.8.
There was the whole thing though that like Limmy said, which is like there seems to be a lot of people that are like trying very hard to say that this game isn't crap.
Yes, and I agree with that, right? And that's certainly how a lot of the reviews read, and that's what led me to believe that once this game was out there, we'd hear some very different chat about it. But I've not seen that. Not on the scale that I expected to see it. And it suddenly made me think, shit, I've got to try this. Because, I'm not saying that I'm going to rush out and get it tomorrow, but at some point down the line, I'm going to have to give this game a go because it has been way more positive. The conversation has been way more positive than I expected it to be. And I don't know, maybe there is something that's interesting enough in there to sort of grab hold of me.
Yeah, I think, maybe it's just me and it speaks to me and the things I like, but I think it's a fascinating game. I think everyone should.
Yeah, but it's clearly not just you. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
No, because I'm enjoying it as well, Matt. It's just. I'm enjoying it, like, despite the problems it has. And the problems it has, I really think could have been... They are needless. Like, I don't think it had to be like this. It's, especially just get those fucking vehicles. I mean, what are they thinking? It's just... I don't know how anyone could have ever played any other game and then thought, yes, this car should handle this way. It's just horrible.
Okay. All right. Well, listen... We're going to be talking about this for the next couple of weeks, I'd imagine. You know, there's a lot of game there. Probably not as lengthy as we have done just now, but I think that's probably a good place to end it this week. Because I'm sure you'll both have a lot more to say next week about this game, so we can sort of have an update. But
maybe like I have seen some people say they finished it around like 40, but most people say around 60. But like Jedi Fallen Order's out on Friday.
Yeah, I know.
So I might. I mean, basically, what I think I'm going to do is basically.
It's meant to be a long game as well, isn't it?
Oh, is it?
I thought it was going to be a shorter one.
Oh, really? I'd heard that it... Right, okay.
Well, I generally assume if it's got a big budget and a story, that probably means a lot of voice acting and cutscenes, and that probably means like that takes up a lot of money. So I assume
but
a shorter game.
I've also heard RPG elements.
Yeah, it's a bit of a Metroidvania, I think,
stuff,
isn't it? Yeah, so
which changes quite a bit.
I was what I thought. Okay, I'll basically play this until Friday, get Jedi Fallen Order, play that, and then come back to this. So like. My worry right now is what if I go back to that and don't want to come back to this? But
but that's what I was going to say.
And also,
you know that you won't go back to it. So I mean, I don't know. If you skip over to Jedi Fallen Order, I'd be surprised if you had it in you to go back to it.
Well, I mean, I definitely want to get this finished because I want to see what the story's about. But I also loved Metal Gear Solid 5 and didn't finish that. I just went off it. But
I don't think anyone did.
It's mad, though, isn't it? 'Cause there's too much stuff at the moment. Because I mean, I haven't finished Outer Worlds yet either, and it's like I've stopped that because I started Death Stranding, and I hate doing this. Like I much prefer to finish stuff before I move on to new stuff. But then also you got Jedi Fallen Order, and then also Shenmue 3. Like in
I know, Jesus, I'm worried about the Outer Worlds as well because. I mean, I've played it for a little bit more. I am just on my way to the bit that you said you disliked.
Yeah. I got past that bit now.
I will play it, but I've got a feeling that might have to wait until maybe even after Christmas now. It's crazy. But we'll see.
You mentioned earlier Days Gone. Did you see like ahead of sales figures that like Days Gone sold 3.6 times more than Death Stranding?
Jesus.
Yeah.
It really banged that, didn't it?
Yeah, I know, mental, isn't it? I'd forgotten that game even existed.
That game was too long, but it was also not anywhere near as bad as people said it was. I enjoyed that game.
Yeah, it's another game I want to go back to, but it's also a 60-hour game.
Yeah,
the sequel is going to be amazing when they think let's just do a 15-hour version.
There is no way you're going back to that game. No way.
But I loved it. I just stopped. But I'm
sure you did. I'm not disputing that. What I'm saying is that there is no way you're going back to that game ever.
I mean, I'm struggling to figure out how I'm going to finish like both Death Stranding.
Exactly.
Jedi Fallen Order and Shenmue before Christmas, but we'll see.
Okay. Did you play both? Did you play and complete both Shenmues?
Just the first one in Japanese, not the second one.
Oh, right, okay, yeah. All right, well then maybe that's a good segue into one of the games that I've been playing this week because I did beat Shenmue 2 this week, so I can finally give my final assessment on not just that game but the Shenmue saga. Those of you that have been following my streams, you can catch up on YouTube if you haven't, will know that I thought Shenmue 2 was fucking appalling as a video game. And I've been questioning whether to say this on the podcast, but I'll just say it and I might retract it later. I think it is just flat out a bad game. Like, no arguments, no defend it. I think it is a terrible computer game, that. And what kills me is that despite its flaws, I really, really enjoyed my time with Shenmue 1. Shenmue 2, fucking hell, it is just... Where do you sit on it, James? Because I know that you're the biggest Shenmue fan amongst us, right? I know others liked it, but you're the biggest Shenmue fan amongst us. What are your thoughts on Shenmue 2 compared to 1? Like, what? I mean, you've always sort of said, yeah, no, they tried to do stuff, but they clearly had to scale it back a bit. Whatever, yeah, but fine.
But can
you honestly defend it as a good game?
I don't know if I can. See, the thing is, it's been like a very long time since I last played it, and I mean, I would still firmly agree with you that the first game is absolutely a much better game because it also feels like a much more complete experience as well than Shenmue 2 does. I mean, the thing with Shenmue 2 is that it was also like rushed and they had to like cut loads of stuff and there was lots of things done to it to like get it out like on time and everything, which is probably why it does feel maybe more disjointed than the first game does. And also, I mean, they cut out a lot of the interactivity as well. But
removed. Forget all that stuff. Like, forget all that. Mm-hmm. Here's the way that I'd like to explain it to fans or whatever. Now, I know I'm going to get shit for this. I'm sure I will. But think about all the characters from the first game. You can see those characters in your head. You can think about their stories. You knew where they grew up. You knew what they were doing day to day. You knew their personality. You got a sense of that character that, although has been bettered since in other video games, but for at the time must have been mind-blowing, and these days still very much acceptable. There's characters there that you just see wandering the streets that you're like, oh, it's that guy, and then you go and talk to him and he'll reveal a little bit more about his life and you're like, okay, brilliant. And sometimes it is weird shit, but a lot of the time it is very natural conversation that's going on, and it feels great. And by the end of the game, you're walking around the various different locations in that game, recognising everyone and knowing the vast majority of those people's story. Then you look at Shenmue 2, there is literally no one outside of the main character group that you will recognise again. Mm. And even the ones inside that main character group, what do you really know about Joy? Nothing.
Yeah.
What do you really know about that little kid? Fuck all.
Yeah.
Like the characters, you've got no emotional attachment to any of them, and even the one that you meet at the end. It was only a goat that she was trying to save, and you get her out of the river, and her whole personality for 45 minutes that you're speaking to her as you're walking to a town is, I know nature. That's it. That's all she's got for you. Oh, when you look up, the wind's blowing that way and the birds are going that way. That's why we know how to avoid this. And you sort of shrug and move on.
Can I offer a counterpoint to this that you're not going to like?
Absolutely, go for it. No, go for it. Yeah, go for it.
Well, you see, the thing of it is, right, is the first game you see Rio in like his hometown, surrounded by like his own culture and his own people and all that kind of thing, right? Whereas the second game, he really is going somewhere where he's an outsider. He's not part of that community. He was an
outsider in the docks of the town.
Not to this degree, though. Like, this is like...
No, not to that degree, but he's meeting people that he's never met before, and then you go and find out their stories.
Yeah.
Are you telling me that
But he's also, like, when he goes to Hong Kong and then into, like, the mainland, he is an outsider in those communities. And so you could look at that as being... That is a reason maybe why he doesn't get to know people as well, because he's just focused on his mission at that stage.
Just no. That's not an excuse. That does not allow them to not give a backstory or develop any sort of relationship with anyone on that.
But you can.
Ren is awful.
Yeah, I know,
as a character, and it's just awful.
Yeah.
Go on.
No, I'm not going to argue with you.
You said they're not. No,
I'm not going to argue about whether the characters, because I cannot remember, honestly. And you're right about that from the perspective of I can remember characters from the first game, but not so much from the second one, because they weren't as interesting. But by the time that
it's like is it Kowloon, the big city that you go to in Kowloon, Shenmue 2? Right, so Kowloon, right. What annoys me about that is that it was obviously a lot larger than anything in Shenmue 1. There's a lot more going on. But you didn't have that sense of a working town. You didn't have that sense of people going about their daily business.
It's such a shame as well, because in real life, Kowloon was a fascinating place. And I've seen a bit on your streams, and I've just looked up like what it's like in the game. And they took some real liberties with it, didn't they, James? It's not really anything like...
It doesn't look like Hong Kong a lot at all, to be honest.
But my point is that you walk around the relatively... admittedly, it's a smaller scale, so it's a little bit more understandable, but you walk around the town in Shenmue and you see people going about their daily business. In Shenmue 2, you didn't have that sense of that at all. You had that sense of a bunch of NPCs that some you talk to and they'll point you in the right direction. That was it. It was more like a video game than Shenmue 1 was, and less of a video game for it, if that makes sense. It's just, I don't know, and it's kind of, I'm really hoping that Shenmue 3, for whatever it ends up being, has more of a sense of place than Shenmue 2 does. Like, more of a sense of place that, like Shenmue 1 does, and less like Shenmue 2 does. And they might not be connected at all in any way, like in terms of, mechanics and what they're trying to do, what they're trying to achieve with it. It's so disappointing to me that Shenmue 2 seemed to strip away all the stuff that I loved about the first one and made this. It was terrible. Like the long drawn out stuff was appalling. Even the combat felt worse than it did in the first, because, I mean, as you said, I had that massive battle towards the end of the game where I died a few times and then realised that all I had to do was just kick. Like, just one kick and then back away and one kick, and I did the whole fight like that, didn't get touched, and I beat the shit out of him. I don't know, man. The QTEs.
Yeah, the QTEs
What was
terrible.
The point of them running through the forest? There's that whole bit where you're running through the forest and there's loads of QTEs to do.
I mean, you see,
no need to do
I enjoyed the end part of that, because that was what was the old Disc 3 or Disc 4, like on the Dreamcast version. And after all the stuff that had gone on and all those horrible QTEs and stuff like that there'd been in the previous disc, it was like it just felt like a nice relief to be there. And this is what was funny, because
for me,
also
it was boring.
Well, no, because also the other thing is that I was watching you play this, and you look at it and you just think this looks really bad. Like now, compared to. Like, visually, it looks really terrible. Like, the city stuff in the first game looks a lot better because it's much simpler, I guess, to, create buildings and stuff rather than, natural environments. And it looks like... But when I played Shenmue 2, when it first came out, it didn't look terrible to me, and it did look like a sort of magical place, if you see what I mean, because that's what it was like in those days. Whereas now, you look at it, it looks dreadful. And I can really could see that's how it looks.
That's fine, but I mean, when you're just walking along and you've got questions about water, oh, what do you do for water? Oh, we go to the springs and we go and drink the water.
That's all part of building. I know, but that is all.
No, it's not building nothing. It is, Dave. It's not building nothing. No, it's not. It's building
bullshit.
Nothing.
Because what you're doing there is you're building what this girl's life is she's living in a very sort of simple situation, that kind of thing.
Which is explained in the first 2 questions. You've then got 45 minutes of questions that explain the same thing.
Have you never had conversations like this with people, Dave? Where you're just going around in circles about stuff?
Not as entertainment, though. Not as entertainment.
No, that's not the point, is it? It's to try and create a sense of place and who these people and who this person is.
No, James, it's the same point made over and over again in different ways. That's what that 45 minutes of conversation was. Oh, so where do you get your food? Well, we go up to the mountains and we eat the things. Okay, right. Where do you drink? I go to springs and drink the water. Oh, where do you sleep? Oh, I sleep in my house, but when I'm travelling, I sleep in caves. Oh, right, okay. Okay, all right. Okay,
yeah, you have conversations like that with people, Dave. When you go abroad and you talk with people, you have conversations like that.
I fucking don't. I sit on my sunbed from morning to day sipping on beer. That's what I do when I go out broad sunshine. I don't know. It's just I didn't get that sense of place from that at all. Whereas the conversations that I was having with people in Shenmue 1 was just so much better. Like it felt so much more personal rather than generic answers to questions. Anyway, we can't go into it for too long. This is a fucking old game that no one gives a shit about, only me. But what I will say is that I am looking forward to Shenmue 3 just to see what tone they take for the next one.
See, what did you think of the ending? Because I do hate the ending of Shenmue 2.
Well, we spoke on the phone about it. The supernatural shit at the end was fucking awful. The ending made no sense. Although I'd be lying if I didn't say I was intrigued about how those two people have come together.
Mm-hmm.
Like what their history is. Pretty sure she's his sister.
You think so?
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. If it isn't, that's weird, I think.
Okay.
I mean, someone said in the chat that it could be Landy's daughter.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's the case. Did you know, Sean? Are you familiar with these games?
I played the first, but I only played a bit of the second, and even then it was back in.
Okay,
well,
I'll tell you the twist. If you really don't want to know, then turn off. But I'll tell you the twist. It's a really old game. So you know that you're avenging your father's murderer, Landy, right? You find out towards the end that Landy's father was actually murdered by your dad.
Oh, right, okay.
Right? Yeah. So I was making the point on the stream that, well, Rio's the bad guy then. Because all you're doing is trying to kill a man who's getting revenge for his father's killer.
Yeah. So really, Rio should just be like, all right, fair cop.
Oh, shit, yeah. You lost your dad,
for one.
I lost my dad.
Yeah. I mean, what are the circumstances of Landy's dad getting killed, though? Did he in any way deserve it? Or... Is that...
I doubt it.
Okay.
I'm going to say I doubt it. But yeah, no, the people in the chat got very angry at me for making that point. I will tell you that. I was like, oh man, Rio's the bad guy. No, he's not. He's just continuing the circle of the pain that has gone on between these two families.
Yeah, but that still makes him, makes him no better than Landy.
I mean, I don't even believe it myself. It's just nice to drop that in there to get a rise out of people. But,
so Shenmue 6 is going to be Landy's kid getting revenge on Rio.
Did you see the back of the box? Like, there's been like the box is already out, obviously. For the game.
Go on.
And there's like on the back it just says like the saga continues. It's like I felt my heart sunk when I saw that. I was like, please, can we just have the saga concludes?
Yeah.
It's like
the saga end.
Yeah, this is I'm
going to play it though, and I will play it on stream.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be there.
I don't know if I'm going to play it as soon as it comes out. I don't know if I want to wait until I come back or something.
You better avoid my stream then. But there's no way that you can let me play it before you.
No, that's also true because you'll ruin it for me. So it's,
no, I won't ruin it for you. It's just it's I mean, the fault of that is James Farley has been waiting for this game for God knows how many years, and I've just completed Shenmue 2, and I'm going to get straight on to 3.
I've still got a feeling. I still have very low expectations though of whatever it's going to be. So we'll see.
Okay, a couple of quick ones to add to my list. Assemble with Care. Matt and Sean spoke about it.
Yep.
Last week, I really didn't like it. I mean, the little play things were okay, I guess. They didn't get anywhere near as complicated as maybe they should have. And the story is just repulsive to me.
It's not good, is it?
Repulsive?
Yeah, repulsive to me. It's funny because I've got friends that hate Ricky Gervais' sentimental stuff. They're saying, well, it's just forced sentiment. It just makes a really sad thing happen and then puts some piano music behind it, and you're supposed to cry it. I've never minded that. It has made me tear up, and I like that stuff. This one was just ridiculous, though. Can you fix my watch? Yeah. Give it to me, my wife. Oh yeah, your wife got it for you, did it? Yeah, she's dead now.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's every object. There's a sad story.
So someone died, or a relationship broke down, or and by fixing the objects, you can fix the relationship, Dave. It's a metaphor, isn't it? So I found that stuff pretty weak.
Well, it wasn't earned. Those moments of sentimentality wasn't earned.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But how, for example, how could they have earned it? How could they have done it better?
Neocab.
Yeah, but that's a different game. In this game.
No, it's a different game, but you look at the way they build up relationships to a payoff, that works perfectly.
Yeah, but this game is an hour long, isn't it? It's so much short. It's a very short game.
Yeah, so have one person bring new objects to fix that builds to a point of emotional impact. Don't just have a new person every time saying someone's dead now, can you fix this? It's just weird.
Or if there'd been a series of clues among the objects you're fixing, and you're like, hang on a minute, you're spotting...
where you work it out for yourself.
Yeah, and then and then you sort of piece it together. But
you're fixing things, and then you find a photo of someone, and you're piecing a story together throughout fixing these objects.
Yeah, and
that would then earn that.
Yeah, and by all means, have a point later on where it's made explicit. But if you were clever, you could have got it. And I just the voice acting really irritated me as well.
Really?
No, you look at, for example, The Last of Us, right? Yeah. The opening to The Last of Us. You could argue that was straight off the bat, just bam, emotional impact. Yeah. But when you look at it in the context of the piece, it's earned after the fact. Yeah. Because what you're doing is you're then having that emotional connection to Ellie, and it's building that relationship up, and that. So although that was a sad start and a very emotionally impactful beginning, and you could say, well, it didn't earn that death. It wasn't trying to earn that death. That wasn't the point of that scene. That point of that scene was to have that emotion so that you connect with Ellie in a certain way.
Yeah, but you're comparing a 30, 40-hour game to a 60-minute game. I mean, I didn't find this emotionally affecting. I just thought it was a really nice, pleasant story, and it really
and to be clear, I really liked it. I really liked it. I just didn't need the story stuff, I guess. But yeah.
But that's the main part of the game, in my opinion, because the fiddling with the objects was fine, but it was pretty straightforward.
I really liked the fiddling with the objects.
Yeah, it's just a very chill experience.
Yeah. But
how can you say that though when there's stories about people dying every 5 minutes?
I was skipping them by the fifth or sixth.
I just don't think you could try and make that emotional point in split seconds like that they don't land. If you're trying to make me have that feeling of, wow, this is really important, fixing this object because it means a lot to this person, you made that point once and then you made it 13 times over with increasingly, unearned stories.
Yeah.
That was my reaction to it. Anyway, played a hell of a lot more Luigi's Mansion 3. I am now at the point where I'm saying, Sean, Matt, you have to play this game.
Yeah, it's.
You just have to play.
I am borrowing it this week. I'm excited.
One of the most satisfying games. One of the most. I'm just having so much fun with it. You've completed it now, James, right?
I did. Yeah, I finished it this weekend and loved it from start to finish.
Now I've heard people say that it drops towards the end. Is that true?
No, I don't think so. I think it maintains the quality.
I mean, I've got 2 buttons to get. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
And the floors. I mean, the Egypt floor, the fucking. Just everything towards the. I've just done the spa. Like it just every floor is so good, and I've never gone into a game that has designated levels like this before, thinking I just can't wait to see what the next floor is. I can't wait to see what the next level is, what the next theme is, and it's never disappointed me. It's always been like, oh my god. That fucking brilliant idea. I can't wait to do this. I've just unlocked an ability that they leave to right at the end that, for those of you that do play it, and just to explain what that is without spoiling it, it's the one where you can do something with your vacuum that you can only do in certain areas rather than, you get upgraded and you can do it everywhere. Just mind-blowingly brilliant. Just so much fun to use. You know what I'm talking about, James,
no, I do,
right?
Yeah.
Did you do that in the place that when you first used that ability? Did you do that in the place that you're supposed to do it to progress the story?
I did.
Or did you go to somewhere else where you've noticed?
That's the thing. I haven't been back to the other places yet, and I should because it feels because you don't have to do that, and it feels a bit underutilized, that ability. But then if you're...
Yeah, totally, but it feels special whenever you use it. That's the cool thing. Like, if you see it, you're like, oh my god, I get to do this here. You fucking kidding me? Like, I did it on the stage. You know the stage really early on in the game? Because I found the thing that you need to do it way before I got the ability to use it, right? And I've always had it in the back of my head, I need to go back there and work out what I'm supposed to do. The moment I got there, I went there rather than the place to progress the story. Used it and just almost threw up from excitement. I even actually loaded an earlier save just so that, like, Harry had watched me do it, but I just wanted him to do it after that because it's just so much fun to use. Like, it's That game is just too good. I'm going to be gutted when it's over. I'm assuming that there's the end game where you can go back to the floors after.
Yeah, you can do
right?
this, because you can go back and get all the stuff you've missed.
And there's no benefits to getting all that stuff before I go to the final.
No,
is there?
All it does.
Right, excellent.
Do you want me to say what it does? Because it's very simple.
Not really.
Okay.
I want to do it. All I want to do. Oh, does it go back like just before you complete it?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, there's a save that's just before you go to the final boss's stuff.
That sucks a bit. I hate it when games do that.
Yeah, I hate that in Breath of the Wild. It's like,
I must
do
admit,
that?
I hate that in Breath of the Wild. That's the only negative I've got about Breath of the Wild, actually. But yeah, no, that's that sucks a little bit. But I will be going back and doing all that stuff. I'm going to 100% this game without a doubt. I've got no shadow of a doubt in my head that I'll be doing that. So yeah, brilliant game. Right, Sean, have you got anything on your list?
Just a couple of short ones, really. Grindstone. Been playing a shitload of this. James, I believe Chen's addicted to it as well. We mentioned it briefly last week, didn't we?
Yeah, the Grindstone, yeah.
Yeah. So this is on Apple Arcade. It's by Cappy, who did Below and a bunch of other stuff. And it's weird because they seem to sort of flip between doing like unusual stuff, and then occasionally they just go back to doing these sort of not quite match 3 games, but like, yeah, basically you've got a grid. And so you're basically like dungeon crawling, right? But each level is like this grid with all these monsters on it, and you're a guy with a sword, and all the monsters are different colours. So there's yellow ones, green ones, red ones, purple ones, whatever. And then basically, so each turn you're drawing a line from your guy, like through loads of the enemies, and then you press go, and then he goes through and he kills them. But you can only do one colour at a time. So you got to find like a route through. So say you go for a yellow enemy first. You then got to keep linking yellow enemies. And then if you get like a combo that's like a certain, so there's like different thresholds. I think 10 is the lowest one. It'll drop a gem. So then you can draw a path through a load of like purple enemies. And then if you can link it to one of the gems, you can then switch to like a different color enemy, right? So, and then as you go through the game, it sort of adds these extra wrinkles, like there's chests that you can unlock, but in order to do it, you have to like reach a key first and then find the chest, or it starts dropping these other enemies that need like, so like they're tougher, so you need to have like, you know, drawn a line across like 5 other enemies first before you can like kill this other guy. And it's just a really fucking smart puzzle game. You unlock like materials and stuff, and you can craft things, and you know, and there's like little items you can use and abilities and stuff. And it's, you know, like we keep saying about Apple Arcade stuff. It's the exact sort of thing that 2 months ago would have been free to play, and you'd just be like, I'm going to reach a point where it gets too hard, and that's the point where I'm supposed to start buying the currency or whatever. It's like, no, it's just a good, well-designed game throughout. That point of like, you know, if I do start finding it hard, it's just because I'm not good enough at it, and that's it's just what a relief that it's like one of these games that just you're not going to hit that point. So yeah, really enjoying that, and I'm still playing Pokemon Go. I feel like I could have mentioned this every week since I first mentioned it, but I know, you know, when we do that, people sort of think, oh, I must have just played it for a bit and then binned it off. No, I love it. Really love it.
We didn't bin it off.
No.
When we were at EGX,
yes,
we all wanted to go to the pub and we had to just sit and wait
there was
for
a
him
raid
to
on.
try and catch a rare Pokemon.
There was a 5-star raid, and obviously with it being a games expo, quite a few other people playing. So yeah, and it was great because I got to raid with a bunch of other people, didn't even have to make eye contact with them, didn't say hello, nothing. I could see who it was because there's like a group of people all stood around gawping at their phones, and I was like, I'm just going to join the raid. And then
I mean, why did we wait? Why, like, I was sort of edging towards the pub.
Yeah, sorry, you probably could have just gone, and I would have just followed you.
Just what I should have done.
Yeah. It was very exciting for me though. Yeah, it's just nice. Like, and it's just been really cool. Like, whenever I'm somewhere new, or somewhere I don't visit that often, I'm like, oh yeah, shit, there's probably loads of Pokestops everywhere, and I'm just like, properly enjoying it. I've not yet like met up with anyone local. I have found a local Facebook group. I think I mentioned this, and I joined it, but I don't know. I still don't think I can do the whole just like. Because like obviously, like with kids, I'm never just going to be like, in the middle of the evening, like, oh fuck, there's a raid around the corner, I'm just going to nip out and I'm not going to do that.
No, but just go to one to see what it's like.
Well, it's really interesting, right?
Who knows? You may really like it.
Yeah, maybe. There's a gym right outside my office, as in a Pokemon gym. There is a real gym as well, but that's a different place. And it's really interesting, like, because where I work is like it's right next to the centre of town, but you wouldn't come towards it unless you had business in the office. And yet, like any given weekday, like the gym will change hands like 2 or 3 times a day, and I'm like, who is walking up here just to do this? But of course, it has dawned on me that maybe there's other people at work who are playing it, and I just don't know who they are. So I think that's the next step, is to try and figure out if it's other people in the office who are playing it.
But yeah, you can see like the usernames. So does that give you a clue at all?
Yeah, just do a bit of Googling, a bit of stalking. Probably shouldn't. It's a bit weird. And yeah, it's just nice, like making more friends in it, like people I know from other bits of the country, and just seeing like the weird and wonderful Pokestops they've been to. I went to one. It's quite a shitty town that I sometimes have to visit for work, and I found a Pokestop which was. So it was in like the middle of this shopping centre, right? And there was a Pokestop just in the middle of nowhere. So I swiped it, and it was the picture of it was just like a bust of Queen Elizabeth, like this white, like statue of Queen Elizabeth, and which was nowhere to actually be seen in this shopping centre. So I assume it like used to be there, and then it got removed, and it was just called the Big Queen. And that was fucking hilarious to me for some reason. So I was like, oh my God. I was like, all right, I'm going to swipe this as many times and get as many gifts from it as possible because I want to send everyone the Big Queen. And it's great. I love it.
You're not playing on your iPad, are you?
No, I'm playing it on the phone. Although you do see it. So when, like when I saw those people raiding outside EGX, there was a couple of them who had 2 phones with them. because people do that.
Yeah, you can have 2 accounts.
Yeah,
and trade.
That way inclined. And then further still, you get people who are just actually sitting at home running an Android emulator or whatever and just spoofing the GPS location. That's a thing.
Yeah, a lot of people do that to make sure they get like Pikachu for the first one.
Yeah, really weird. Yeah. But when the whole point is that it makes you go out for a fucking walk, which is great, by the way. Like
that is pretty
I'm
bad,
taking I think I said I'm taking slightly longer walks to work because I can hit like a few extra Pokestops. I'm like doing a slightly longer walk with the dog. It's good.
What was that game? Was there a DS game that had a walking count or whatever?
Using the Street Pass.
No, there's an older game than that.
Oh, Nintendogs.
No, there was Nintendogs had it, but there was another game. I can't remember what it was because I remember at one point just shaking. Maybe it was a Tamagotchi style thing.
Oh, there's the Pokewalker. It was one of the Pokemon games, wasn't it? And there was a little.
No. I'm definitely thinking about a game that I played, but I can't remember what it was. But I remember like shaking it to get. Maybe it was the DS. Maybe it was the DS that you got something.
Possibly, can't remember.
For walking with it or something.
Yeah, you got play coins when you did that.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, and I just remember thinking, the whole point in this is to make me walk. Yet I'm standing here shaking it because I can't be fucked. It's pathetic, really. But yeah,
Pokemon Go is good, man. Interesting though. So Minecraft Earth has come out this week. Well, it's in like early access or whatever. And so similar deal. You have to like walk around in real life, but it's got the this AR thing where you can point your camera anywhere in the world and you can see what Minecraft things people have built in any given location, which is really cool and really interesting. But can I be arsed playing that alongside Pokemon Go? Probably not.
Well, it depends. Do you ever find yourself out and about where you've gone somewhere and you thought, I could
do better than this.
You could boot another one up after.
I suppose.
I think you could run them at the same time.
It's just interesting, because we talked before about when the Division came out or Anthem or whatever, and it's like but I'm already playing Destiny. Have I got room for both? And you could probably do both, but if I'm walking around staring at a game on my phone, I don't need more than one of those, do I? Really.
And the thing in Pokemon Go is you can play it quite subtly, whereas because I'm sure you're saying, but turn all the AR stuff off, you don't have to actually be holding your phone like that anymore. Whereas Minecraft Earth, it's all about that, so you've got to keep the AR stuff on.
Plus, a lot of phones can't do the AR stuff, so a lot of people can't actually play it. Whereas Pokemon Go, pretty much everyone's welcome. So. Yeah.
Oh man, should we do a game like this? Should we make a game like this, but make it as exposing to the players as humanly possible, where you walk around, you get to a location, you get your phone out and you point the camera and you've got to try and find James Farley in the wild. And when you do, you've got to shout into the microphone in the beginning, smash, smash, over and over again until you capture James Farley.
I mean, that is a literal nightmare for James, so...
It's a literal dream for me. Walking around town and hearing people just shout that shit out. It sounds good. Double points if you go to Canterbury.
Brilliant.
Right.
Thanks,
Dave. But yeah, I mean, other than that, I've played a bit of the Outer Worlds, but I don't know. I don't think I've got anything to say about it really at this point.
What?
I don't know. I'm not really getting into it, to be honest.
Where are you up to?
So I've just left the first planet and I've gone to the sort of space station.
The groundbreaker.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, man! I'm surprised. Yeah. Okay, what did you do with that town?
So I did the thing of directing the power to the town and then putting the lead desert woman in charge of the town.
Oh right, okay. You Nick John's idea.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which I wasn't. I don't I'd be intrigued to see how John got that idea, because the game doesn't really give you the impression that that's an option, does it? Yeah.
No, but then that's what Fallout New Vegas was all about.
Yeah,
really.
True. So I don't know. Initially, because I said I was worried that Disco Elysium might have ruined it for me, and I started playing the Outer Worlds, and I was like, no, fuck it, it's a different game, it doesn't matter. But that whole bit in the first town, the central joke of this sort of hyper-capitalism thing where all the workers are property of the company and such. Like, that's just like one joke that gets stretched out way too far, I thought.
I didn't find that at all.
No, okay. But I don't know. I just, certainly after playing Disco Elysium, like, that stuff seemed really weak. But I should go back to it. I just don't know if I will.
Okay. Matt, have you got anything else to talk about?
No, I played some more Sekiro. I've got up to, like, is it Genichiro again? I think that's the boss. Everyone says it's going to be a 2-streamer. But no, that's about it, really.
Cool. And James?
No, I've got nothing else apart from what we've already talked. So
Wicked. Well, let's get on to emails then.
Jesus, wasn't actually prepared. I didn't think we were going to get through what we've been playing quickly.
No, it's probably for the best because it is getting late and James is 3 minutes away from getting really grumpy. So let's crack on.
Right, emails. If you want to email us, podcast@thecomputergameshow.com. John says, hey boys, been absolutely loving the pod recently. It's great to have David back. It's like having your dad say he's going out for smokes and actually coming home with a pack instead of moving in with his secretary. That's a weird thing to say.
Okay. See a psychiatrist.
Yeah. I'm so glad to hear you've all been loving Luigi's Mansion 3. It's been absolutely incredible to experience, and it's a joy to play. On the joint stream, please make this happen. Now, I'll just read this out, and then we'll talk about it. I can't be the only person.
That's usually how this segment works.
I was going to say, it doesn't really need explaining, does it? Sure. I can't be the only person who lists this pod amongst my favourite to listen to when I'm doing a Pineapple Express cosplay, and I'm not alone when I'd say I would buy the shit out of Computer Game Show brand rolling paper. Anyways, in some mystical far-off land...
Wait, you are alone saying that. You're definitely alone saying that.
In some mystical far-off land where there are no Republicans and it's legalised everywhere, what games would you choose to celebrate with? Hypothetically speaking, of course. PPS, I remember when you do the joint stream to hang up an American flag in the background and speak a lot about how lucky you are to be on holiday in Colorado, then all will be well with the world. So I flagged this up in WhatsApp. I have no memory of us talking about... like joking about doing it.
I listened back to it.
Okay, go on.
I listened back to it, and you do acknowledge it.
Do I?
You're
okay,
fine.
so I got it, and then I just totally forgot.
Someone asked us to do a joint stream, and I went, "What? Where we're stoned?" And then you laughed.
Okay.
And then yeah, it was like that.
I don't remember that at all. So I was reading this email, like, what are you talking about? May have been.
What was it? What was that? That's a line from. Is that The Office? Is the American version of The Office, isn't it? Where he turns around and says, "Did you?" He says something like, "Yeah, I can smell weed on you." He goes, "Well, I don't take drugs." Well, as you know, weed is a memory loss drug. So how do you know? How did you? You might have forgotten. I don't know. What the basic question is? What game would you play when you're stoned?
Yeah, I think so.
Res is the only answer, really, isn't it?
Yeah. Suppose, yeah.
That seems too complicated.
Really? What's complicated about Res?
I suppose there's some quick reactions involved and stuff. Maybe that's...
Not really.
I reckon Man of Medan, because maybe it'll make it good.
You're joking.
Well, you have your sleepy peepee in no time. Sonic Adventure. Just all like these weird fucking animals just like chatting and shit.
It's like, yeah, we've got to free all the animals from the robots, man.
I'm thinking things like Gang of Beasts and like that sort of like, I guess like Mount Your Friends. That's like, also I thought Monkey Ball. I don't quite know. I think you could pass a pad and laugh a lot.
I mean, to be clear, if we did ever do a joint stream, it would just be 2 hours of me going, guys, come on, you're being far too silly. Can we just behave, please?
Should you be drinking water? Oh,
yeah,
God.
Yeah.
Do you drink more or less?
Can we open a window? It smells.
Come on, you've had enough now, Matt. Come on.
No, oh, Sean, no, you've just smoked a normal cigarette, mate. I don't know what you're talking about. What's the...
that was a placebo joint. I am off my face. Mate, that's a Benson Hedges.
Can we do a placebo joint stream? Right. Next question.
James Middleton says, hi chaps. After all recent negativity surrounding new products like Pokémon, Death Stranding, and even Stadia, possibly warranted though.
Yeah.
I was thinking, has there ever been such a negative and toxic time in the gaming scene? I can't think of one, even when products like the 3DO and the CDI released. Have you ever taken or wanted to take a break from modern gaming and just go back to the backlog or play retro titles? If so, what game brought you back in? Top job on the podcast as always. Nice to hear the main one's ego creeping back in last week. I think this stuff's always been bad. It's just more obvious now because of the fucking internet.
Yeah, that's part of it. I do think it's worse than ever. Yeah. I through various different things, mainstream picking up with video games and all that sort of stuff. As I said before, I remember when being into video games felt like a fucking club. You know what I mean? Where it was like, oh my fucking god, you play games? What are you playing? Fucking hell, man, this is wicked. We've got so much to talk about. Now someone comes up to me, do you play video games? Yeah, but I don't know if I want to.
Yeah, I get that.
Let's see what you like.
You go to a fucking wedding or whatever, and someone be like, "Oh, you'll get on with talk to him. He plays computer games," and I'm like,
"He plays games."
Yeah, but which ones? I don't. Is it just Call of Duty?
Hopefully FIFA, so I've got something to relate.
That's the point. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Could you imagine that? See someone so what did you think about, the relationship between Danny Williams and Alex Hunter? I don't. Is it more toxic now? Yes, I think so.
I don't know.
I think it gets worse and worse.
I suppose. Yeah,
it's more toxic and we're more aware of it, so it feels doubly bad.
Yeah. Jamie Walsh says, "Hi everyone, I've been listening to you since the early days of JoyPod, and you make my Wednesday morning commute something to look forward to. Thank you for that.
Mate.
I'm hoping for your advice. With Christmas coming up, I want to get my son a Nintendo console. I haven't owned one since the SNES. He's 8 and we have a PlayStation 4. We've spent lots of time on Skylanders, Lego Dimensions and various other Lego games, now all gathering dust. We've tried lots of different games together too, Crash Racing, Ratchet & Clank, even letting him have a go at Borderlands, all in an attempt to stop him becoming just a Minecraft / Fortnite machine. We borrowed a Switch off a friend for a weekend to try it out. I've never used one before. And we both found it quite fiddly when playing Fortnite, so to my shock, he didn't play it at all after his initial go on it, although he did stick to Mario Kart. However, I've been looking at some great deals on a Wii U, and some of the games look great. Mario Kart 8, Zelda, Mario 3D World, Yoshi's Woolly World, Mario Party, Nintendo Land, they all look fun and stuff we can play together. I guess my question is, am I doing him a disservice getting him a Wii U going into 2020 with those games instead of a Switch with 1 or 2 games?
I don't know about that. Because...
Nah, he is.
No, because there's... Okay, if you're younger, I think the Wii U almost is... It's probably a more comfortable machine, I think, yeah.
He's 8, though.
He's 8, okay.
But
then also...
I just...
There are a lot... Yeah. There's a lot of games... I mean, that list he's given there is a pretty good list, though, and if you can get one for really cheap... that's a pretty good selection of stuff.
I guess, yeah, you could, but I mean, I don't know, just picking it up and playing it off screen the way that you can do with a Switch. I just think the Switch is worth the extra money.
You could do that with Wii U as well, if you're in the same room.
No, you couldn't within a 3-meter radius. And if you put what is it? You put your phone on fucking standby or whatever it was. Flight mode or whatever.
Yeah, I mean,
you can't.
A lot of
you got to get a Switch.
Yeah, a lot of the games he's listed are available on Switch as well, as well as a bunch of other similar things that you would definitely enjoy.
I still think if you can get that dirt cheap, then that's not a bad.
It's certainly it is a very good time for sure.
You will play some very good games, but it ain't got Odyssey on it, is it? Not got Luigi's Mansion 3.
Yeah,
that's true.
I mean, I don't know, 8 years old, how aware are kids of, is he going to get the piss taken out of him for having an old console?
At 8?
Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, that's a factor then, isn't it?
Harry's... Oh, can I tell you a sweet story about Harry that has nothing related to this at all?
Sorry, you cut out halfway through that.
Go for it.
Can I tell you a sweet story about Harry?
Yeah,
this
please
is
do.
like a bit, my son. Yeah. But seriously, it almost made me cry the other day. He came up to me, we were chatting about Christmas, and I said, what do you want for Christmas, Harry? And he went, a Nintendo Switch. I promise you this happened, right? This sounds like I made it up, I didn't. He went, a Nintendo Switch. And I went, what are you talking about? we got a Nintendo Switch. He said, oh, no, not for me, for Kevin at school, because he wants one for Christmas, but his mum said it's too expensive.
Shit.
I just wanted to squeeze him so tight that his head burst. But yeah, no, so yeah, people are aware of it. Even Harry's 5. I just forgot his age then. Harry's 5, so, they're aware of that stuff.
So Switch, yeah?
Oh, that's I just wanted to buy a Switch because they're so good.
Right, Capone Adam says, my favourite part of the show is the news segment. My second favourite part of the show is hearing James provide insight and personal analysis of gaming-related news from China. Speaking of which, I have a question related to recent news. China has imposed an online gaming curfew on minors. I quote, under the new rules, gamers aged under 18 will be banned from playing online games between 10 p.m. and 8 a.m. On weekdays, minors can only play for 90 minutes, while they may play up to 3 hours per day on weekends and public holidays.
The fuck do you enforce that?
No, you can enforce it, that's the thing.
This is my question for James, is how enforced will this rule be? Will it be left to the parents to apply these rules, or does the Chinese government really have enough power to force certain online services to only work during specific times? How likely is it that kids will be able to find a loophole around this? ?
Okay, so the thing is, right, is that China has real name registration for using the internet. Mm-hmm. So if you want to use the internet or use internet services, like if you want to sign up, like to play, because most people when they play games, they're like service-based games, so you have to sign in with an account. Mm-hmm. So to do that, you have to use like your real like face and all that kind of thing, and you have to verify your age as well. Mm. So this is actually very easy for them to set up, because all they've got to do is they just have to enforce the publishers to restrict like times for certain age groups, and they can absolutely do that. It's not difficult at all.
Are they doing that?
Well, they will be, yeah, absolutely. They'll do that. And
that's part of this curfew.
Yeah, and then also publishers, I mean, the publishers will work with I was reading about it, they were saying like the publishers are going to work with parents and schools and stuff to ensure that they're going to comply. I mean, the thing with this is there's no way you can absolutely 100% stop it, because if parents want to say, go on, you can just use my account or whatever, that's fine. That'll work. But for like kids, for their own like accounts, yeah, they can absolutely do this, no problem. It's This is why real name registration is awful. Like actually, for anything like related to internet, it's it's terrible.
I mean, so kids under 18, 90 minutes on weekdays. It's got to be before 10 p.m.
Yeah,
that sounds like about all I was able to get in anyway.
Yeah,
when I was that age. I'm not saying that. Oh well, therefore it's fine. I was expecting worse when I started reading it out, and 3 hours a day on weekends and public holidays. I mean, obviously you have the odd binge as a kid, but I don't know.
See, I put restrictions like this on my son anyway.
Well, yeah. See, he goes on to say, follow-up question: if you feel like it, do any of you allocate a specific amount of gaming time to your kids, or if they're currently too young, do you have any thoughts on this for when they're older?
Yeah, absolutely, I do. I mean, I do this for. I mean, like my son's got a Switch and he has it on a tight leash, because otherwise he will just sit there and play it all day.
Yeah,
but that's not really a question. Do you have a consistent, like, you're allowed to play 4 hours a day, or is it more, hey, when it feels like you're playing a little bit too much, turn it off now?
No, I use the app. The app switches it off on purpose.
What, after a certain amount of time? Yeah. See, I don't do that.
The parental control, like the Switch parental control app's brilliant. Like you can set.
I don't know. I had to turn it off because it felt like it was on for everything. I didn't understand. I don't think I understood how it worked.
You can whitelist stuff as well. Like this, you can. It's very flexible. It's a very good app actually. It's very useful.
But it just felt like once it was on my machine, it was actually impacting what I was doing as well.
Well, kind of, yeah. But then you can also whitelist stuff so that it doesn't do that. It's yeah. It's very good. It's very useful for that.
But yeah, no, it's just a feeling thing for me. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, we've had days where, like, when we got Luigi's Mansion, it was a rainy day, so me and Harry spent a fucking long time on Luigi's Mansion on that first day. But, if we're planning to do so, or it's a nice day outside and whatever, he very rarely plays it during the week. We played it for about 15 minutes after I got back just to see what the next floor was like. But we didn't play it in the morning or anything like that. So
and do you not?
I know that we won't really play it much until Friday.
Do you not struggle to get him off it?
No, we're really lucky with that. We turn around and go, Harry, turn it off now, and he turns it off straight away. There's no arguing.
We have like flexibility with it in the sense that I have like a base amount that I'll be like, you can't go beyond this. But then sometimes, like you said, some days we've got, it's rainy day or whatever, we're going to play together or something. you get longer and stuff. But it's useful, I think, just to have like a base thing of just like, you ain't spending longer than this amount on this over the weekend because it's insane.
And I mean, Sean, the moment he turns around and kicks off that we've asked him to turn it off, that's it. It's getting taken away for a couple of days.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm just not putting up with that shit.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I would love it if Isaac was as reasonable as Harry when he grows up, but I mean, he's already a fucker if I turn off the TV if he's watching it, so I'm assuming strict limits will need to be in place when he's old enough.
Yeah, don't assume. They change so often. Yeah. I wouldn't put that down to anything. No, cool. You just never know what their personalities are going to be like year by year, you know what I mean?
I mean, to be fair, I
Harry
think we
used to have a meltdown about putting clothes on.
Yeah.
And it was getting weird.
Yeah. I was just going to say, we've
just phases.
We've definitely just hit the terrible twos with Isaac. He just occasionally, he'll just go fucking nuts about having to walk in a certain direction or or whatever.
Yeah.
It's that thing, isn't it? They get to the age where they're just like, but why?
Yeah.
It's like, why do I have to do this? This is stupid.
So the other day, he became obsessed with mini Baby Bells, and he was eating, and he had like 2 of them, and I was like, and we were having pizza like in about half an hour's time, and he was going cheese, and he was like banging on the fridge, and I was like, Isaac, you're not having any more cheese. We're having pizza in a bit. That's got cheese on it, and he just ran off saying, I don't like cheese. I was like, okay, mate, that's all right.
I will say this, Sean. It's not the same for everyone. So, despite that, you're on the home straight now, boy.
Yeah,
like you're really on the home straight now. Like they get so much, but don't get me wrong. There's still tough times, but after this period, like from about 3.5 onwards, that's when it starts bleeding.
No, he's like the last 6 months he's been amazing, and he's still, when he's not having one of his weird tantrums, he's proper good. I told you I took him to the cinema, didn't I?
Oh yeah.
I went to see Dug at the cinema. He got about 50 minutes in, he was ready to go, which is fair enough. But that's it for emails.
Awesome. Let's go on to a few tweets. If you want to tweet us, it's at Computer Game Pod on Twitter. David Rush starts off. Will Matt Murray be live streaming the drumming at the Christmas show? Special breakdancing appearance from JCA Farley as a Patreon goal. We haven't really mentioned. Have we mentioned drumming on this?
We haven't.
No, only on we did on the bonus show.
Oh, did we mention that?
I don't think we did we?
We did mention on the bonus show.
It's very simple. I mean, Matt plays drums with 12-year-olds. I mean, that's it.
It's true.
Yeah, we mentioned loads on
I feel like there's a lot to dig into here.
I mean, James and I talked about it on every one of the Alex Kidd streams. It was mostly 2 hours of me talking. Yes, but basically, I'm learning drums because I've always wanted to do it, and
that's cool, man.
I'm in adult drums, and there's only me, and so there has been children in there. And actually, I did the one on Sunday, the first one of like 3 weeks with half term happening, and
you've made that story sound way better than it actually is.
What is the story? I'm learning drums.
You went to take Elodie to learn how to play drums.
Well, she does drums 9:30 till 10, and I do mine 10 till.
Exactly. So you went to take her, and while you were there, you were like, "Fuck it, I'm signing up for this."
No. I was doing it. I was doing it beforehand. I mean, I had already planned to do it beforehand. Yeah, it's just so happened we could both do it.
That's cool, man.
You were doing it before.
Well, no, as in like we saw that she wanted to do. Well, we said, "What do you want to do? Let's try a musical instrument," because we tried everything else on the planet. And then as we were looking for drums, there's like, and there's adult drums here as well. So I was like, "Well, I'm definitely going to do it." And so we're both doing it at the same time at the same place. It's brilliant.
I think as long as you're not doing it in like a weird competitive dad way, I think that's absolutely fine. I think it's.
Oh no,
that's exactly what's going on. I think it's like me taking Harry to football training in a full kit and running on and sliding tackle 12-year-olds. That's the equivalent.
If it was an adult training, football training as well, then it will be exactly the same. Anyway, but basically,
sorry, how many adults are in this adult training again?
Well,
Matt?
it's just me. Because
and how old are the other ones that you're drumming with?
So basically, it's been adult drums just for me, and then with like staff shortages or this something. But okay, there's so much to discuss because basically to watch our Alex Kids streams. But the latest is basically they've now combined my adult drums with advanced kids drums, and these kids are amazing. They are so good at drums. Also, for a long time, there's been like a threat of like a Christmas show. They've now confirmed Christmas show's happening, and I'm in it.
Amazing.
So I will be doing the Christmas show with the other 4 kids in my class.
Somebody
I don't know how old they are
to film this.
You can't really ask. You can't really ask how old kids are, can you? But basically, they're old enough for their mum to be in the room.
Listeners going to find out where this is, Matt. You sure you want this out there?
I mean, it's going to happen anyway at some point. Anyway, basically, I don't know how old the kids are with me, but I assume they're under 12. There's 2 girls, one's older than the other. Their mum's in there, and this other dude called David. Anyway, but basically, yeah, there is a Christmas show, and it's happening, and I'm going to have to do it on stage with these 12-year-olds.
Oh my god!
And with loads of proud
just
parents,
getting a picture
proud
of that.
parents, relatives, friends, and then there's like some old guy who they're probably going to think I'm like the teacher who's had to like stand in because someone's ill.
I think,
but actually,
Matt,
no, it's me learning drums.
Best case scenario, they think you're the teacher. I mean, it's just
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, but what if Matt's a beginner drummer? They're going to think, well, this one's teaching our kid.
I know. I'm shitting it because these kids are so good. I mean, I can't quite keep up with them. They're great. Yeah.
I just see you up there with loads of 12-year-olds, just you in the middle, right?
Just
like
4
with a bigger
12-year-olds,
drum kit, right? Yeah. And then a projector behind you with Asda's CCTV footage on loop. Just watching you trying to buy a game early. I'm seeing it all, mate. I can't wait.
I'm on their wavelength, aren't I? Yeah, so no, that's happening.
We need to get that CCTV footage for our next live show, don't we?
Oh my god!
I don't think it'd be that exciting. Just man
and the
till.
drum stuff. Can we get drums on the show on Alex Dice show?
I love that because I need more practice. Anyway, so that's going to happen in like a month's time or something, and I'm a bit worried now, but because there's
Track
all like
them down people.
Huh?
Turn up, buy tickets, get going. Let's go.
Anyway,
TCGS
so no, I'm not
people
live streaming. I'm obviously going to get Jill, like any proud parent, to record it on video.
Oh, amazing!
With if she can, if she's not that embarrassed, if she's not that embarrassed, she'll actually turn up. And
Elodie's not going to be on stage with you.
No, they haven't talked to like the little ones about a Christmas show, but that's not to say it's not happening.
This is just for the big boys. It's like
and girls.
It'd be so funny.
And girls, James, you monster.
If afterwards you're like, Jill, why have you spent so long filming our daughter? I was up there and film me. Keep the camera on me.
Yeah, it's really hard. I hope it's not. You won't be a clash because obviously there's like here's little sticks and here's a big boy drum and big girl drums. Anyway, it's not been live streamed. So many people on Instagram message me saying, "Where can I get tickets? Where is this? I'm going. Are you live streaming this? This is a Patreon goal." It's like no. Like my mother-in-law messaged me on Instagram saying, "Can we come see you?" I was like, "Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It's not happening. No, forget it." Anyway,
fucking hell, man. That just sounds too good.
MD Krabuffs follows up with saying, next EGX, the TCGS Duo drum break, formerly known as Interface, takes to the stage. But what act would Sean and Dave have to do to beat them in their now annual TCGS Got Talent competition?
I mean, I'll just do some topless Beat Saber. It's fine. Did I tell you we went to Blackpool the other week, and because I didn't realise there's a Beat Saber arcade.
Is there?
Yeah, and I mean it's basically just the game with just the Oculus Rift attached to it, and there's like a big sort of vertical screen. And I kept just looking at it, and it was like, will you fucking stop it? You're not going on it.
Just do it now and just get them done with.
Because it was popular enough, but obviously everyone was just doing it on like easy and just being like swipe, just really slow. And I was like, mate, in my head,
it's boring as hell.
In my head, I would turn up and like humiliate everyone, but of course the only person I'd be humiliating would be myself because. Don't look good.
I'm pretty good at flipping beer mats.
Oh yeah,
I'm pretty good at that one. Have I done that in front of you before?
Yeah, I've seen you do that. It's not bad.
I could do it two-handed, like do both at the same time. I could do big stacks of them, and I haven't tried it for ages. But because this all come from me working in a pub for 2 years, that was a very, very quiet pub, having nothing to do. I've done 5Ps before, flip 5Ps like beer mats.
Amazing,
because you can flip them and catch them. So that's my talent.
So Sean's doing Beat Saber with you flicking 5Ps in front of him. That's
a hell of a show, that.
Yeah, it really is.
It's pretty good. And then in the background,
with James breakdancing, I assume, in front of me.
Yeah, of course.
If you can get a good rhythm going. This is a
fucking incredible show.
It's going to be amazing. Yeah. Anyway, MD Krabuffs carries on. What should happen when you look in a mirror and say Mr. Boomstick 3 times? I think James should appear behind you.
Someone tuts behind you. Someone goes, oh. Someone does that behind you in your ear.
I hear someone tutting.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I'll do it.
What's the point? It's rubbish. It's rubbish.
In the beginning.
It's rubbish. No, it's like you can just hear, okay, last one, please, last one.
Next one, Matt.
Chod UK, which games that you've already finished would you love to go back and play through again, but simply don't have the time?
Oh, God, Red Dead Redemption 2 is at the top of that list. I started a second playthrough. I got to chapter 3, I think. And I didn't want to stop, but then something came along that I had to play for the show, so I stopped. But yeah, no, if I had the time, I'd play through that again, fucking without a shadow of a doubt. Jesus, that game. Oh, so good.
I think
it was funny the amount of stuff that I picked up on at the start of that game, going back to it, knowing the story.
I bet, yeah.
It's crazy.
I think mine's probably Fire Emblem Three Houses because I had to trade it in to stop myself doing a second and probably third playthrough because it was just taking all my free time.
I think mine might be Red Dead 2 actually because I hated the beginning so much and sort of stopped and I did like 5 hours and stopped and came back to it, but I was in such a funk with it for the first few hours. I'd like to go back now. I've sort of played it and loved it by the end of it. To see how my thoughts have changed, but and not rush through it now would be lovely.
Yeah, know the characters, not realise that it's not a last gen game. All sorts, yeah.
Well, I mean, the mission structure is.
I mean, it's cliche and horrible. Maybe Breath of the Wild. I wouldn't mind playing that again if I had time because I never.
I see. That's the game that I'd love to play without knowledge. You know, play without. If I could wipe my memory of the game, it'd be that.
Yeah.
So I've still got the DLC for that to play, but I've never got round to it really.
I didn't.
The DLC was so unappealing.
Yeah, I hated it. I never did the second one that they released because apparently you really need the fully upgraded Master Sword and the whatever they called it, Trials of the Sword, whatever it was. I absolutely hated it. So there you go.
That was the combat heavy shit, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it was like working your way through a series of like challenge rooms, basically, but like there was only like a checkpoint every 5 rooms or whatever, and it was so easy to get killed. I just thought it was miserable.
Yeah, I love that game so much, but I just never looked into DLC, nor really been mega interested. I guess
I wouldn't bother.
I heard okay things, but it wasn't like you've got to play this, which is a bit weird.
Yeah.
Andy Godwin at Big Cop Man on Twitter. What's your game shame? Having bought a copy of Final Fantasy, 14 on every platform
7
possible since its release. Is that 7? Okay, cool. Final Fantasy, I hate renewals. Final Fantasy 7 on every platform since its release and still not actually finished it yet. Have started that game so many times. I mean, mine is Skyrim, definitely.
I don't know. I can't think of anything that I've bought multiple times and never finished it.
I can think of it.
I really should have played Majora's Mask.
Yeah, I never played Ocarina of Time, mate. So,
wow, you still never played
shit.
it? I tried to. I don't know. Must have been about 5-6 years ago, and just I don't know. Yeah, couldn't get into it.
Just waiting for the Switch 2 remake.
Yeah, mate.
Yeah, James?
Probably FIFA. What was it? FIFA 18 or FIFA 17 that I bought multiple times. I mean, that was a shame. Yeah.
That was weird, man. That was like real sort of James is in trouble.
Yeah, I don't know what was going on there.
Every time I spoke to you, it was like, that's it now. I've got the Switch version. I'm done. I'm never buying it again. All right, cool. Wait, have you bought it again, James? Yeah, I have actually. What?
Yeah, I
Fucking
get it.
hell, that went on until May.
Like, Matt, I've done a thing. So, what have you bought? An Apple Watch, or I bought FIFA again? So, what? This morning you said you just sold one. Good times. I mean, I guarantee it's happened since, but he's just not telling us now.
It genuinely hasn't, because the Switch one is not very
genuinely
good now.
Don't believe you. Genuinely don't believe you. Right, last set of questions. Quick fire or whatever. It's one per person. Nick G at ProdCharger on Twitter. Farley, are you ever worried that being critical of China on the internet may cause issues with Beijing?
Yes, and Chen asks me not to post things quite regularly. So there you go.
Matt, why do you think you haven't been invited on Cane and Rinse yet? I mean, what makes you think I haven't been invited on Cane and Rinse? I mean,
what game were you invited on?
I haven't been invited on Cane and Rinse. But,
I didn't think so.
I mean, because I'm not knowledgeable about any games. I've been invited on Sound of Play, but I'll be rubbish, so no. Sean, do you have the power to apply a flat...
I've not been invited on Sound of Play. How has that happened?
Well, let's not get a bit... I don't know. Sean Bell, you have the power to apply a flat cap to any character in video games. Who gets it?
Gordon Freeman in Half-Life, because you never actually see him, so you just be playing the game, but you just see the little edge of the cap at the top of the screen at all times.
I like it.
Yep.
My first suggestion for that would be Kratos.
That'd be good. He'd suit a
Just
flat
to
cap.
see-
Easy,
That'd be good.
yeah.
Do you mean
it'd be great,
modern Kratos or the original, like from the early games?
Oh, either way.
I'm thinking modern.
Modern one, yeah.
Modern Kratos with an amazing flat cap. It was
And a tweed jacket.
Oh, yeah. Love that.
Why not?
Really big one.
Yeah.
Dave, are you retail outlets only, or could you design my kitchen extension?
I specialise in storage facilities, not so much retail, but I can do retail. Residential, I'd be useless at, I think.
But if his kitchen is the size of a massive storage facility, you could probably do something, right?
Yeah, get a kitchen the size of a 90 square foot storage facility, and I'm there.
Well, if you got that, Nick, then yeah, he'll do it for nothing.
I'll do it for free. Well, I do design kitchens within storage facilities.
Oh, there you go.
Well, this is what we do. Do that, and then just delete all the rest of it outside, and you're done.
Hey, good point. Yeah, I'll do that.
That's it for tweets.
Cool. All right. Socials, Matt. Socials.
Do we have much in the way of socials? James, are you streaming on Friday?
I don't know.
Come on,
That's
sort
a
it
no.
out. It won't take long.
I'll sort it. Well, if this hadn't gone on so long tonight, I could have done it this evening.
Oh, that's right. It's our fault. Yeah.
Bollocks, James. What's the thing about you on us podding on Monday? You know, okay. James is not streaming on Friday, so
I might be.
ignore.
It depends
let
if
him
I get
off.
around to doing it. You know.
Are you going to commit to streaming on Friday, James?
Well, I, Matt, if you help me set it up, then yeah.
Okay, cool.
He lives in Leeds.
No, but you're going to get text messages saying, can you check Twitch?
I've been expecting for about 3 weeks now. I thought, well, I'm going to get a text today about this old guy, I think. But yeah, I'm ready when you are, baby. Let's go.
Right,
that's James not on Friday. I'm on Sunday for Sekiro at 8:30, and that's it for streams because Sean's taking a well-being rest. Dave,
lucky there,
Dave,
Matt.
you're
The
not
time's
streaming.
already run out.
If you've got Amazon Prime, we've also got Twitch Prime. We really appreciate those free subscriptions you get every month, and we'd love it if you came to our channel and gave us your free subscription. We're on Patreon, patreon.com/TCGS. There's a number of different... I mean, you're laughing, but would you rather I just didn't mention any of this?
Yeah, stop messing with the money, Dave.
It's
Come
just
on.
the relentlessness. It's brilliant.
James, should I not mention Patreon or
No, it's
what?
fine, go on.
Are you not bothered?
He's done this little rap quite a few times recently. Should I just not mention it? Just go mention it. Let's mention it. Go.
No, I've done everything. If people want to find us, they can find us, I guess. How about that, James?
In real life.
I'll try and stream this week. I don't know what I'm going to stream. The next major stream that I'm doing is Shenmue 3.
Will it possibly be Rocket League, Dave?
Well, I was wondering if you wanted to join me for some Rocket League.
I need to play that one day. I don't remember the last time I played it. It was ages ago.
Well, maybe we should do that at some point. Just have a. But I think it should be from your point of view rather than mine.
Yeah.
People should see you rather than me. And just hear me getting angry at you as you miss another ball
That will definitely
and it
happen.
rolls into the back of the net. See, because the only problem is streaming from the Xbox is a fucking pile of wank, and that's where I do most of my gaming.
Well,
so,
James has got a Elgato now. It's fine.
he has.
Although I don't
He
have Rocket
has.
League on Xbox, I've only got it on PS4.
No. I can play Rocket League on PS4. We'll
So that's where we all start, I think.
Right, okay, that's it for this week. I really hope you have a lovely week. Big game next week, isn't there? I think we're all getting Jedi
Star
Fallen
Wars,
Order.
yeah.
This week, yeah.
This week, I really apologise to people that are not into Star Wars. I was there this time last year, so I know that this is probably going to be extremely infuriating for you next week. But
if you can get on board, anyone can. Fuck them.
I'm expecting very, very good things. Although the fact we found out today, the embargo drops. It was like 5 a.m. on the day it comes out.
That's which is standard now, though, isn't it?
Is it?
Yeah, it is.
What,
it
Monday
really
morning?
Is.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway,
no, it is.
Common,
it is.
It used to be a sure sign that the game was a fucking turkey, but no, it's
yeah. Anyway, I'm expecting very good things. I reckon it's
I may or may not have heard rumblings that it's really fucking good. I may not have heard that.
I may also not have heard that.
All the previews have definitely said that. I'm expecting 9s. Maybe, no, I don't know, 10s. It's going to be good. It's going to be good.
All right. Well, let's find out. We've not played it. We will do next week. Thanks for living it. We'll catch you later. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
James, say goodbye.
Oh, bye.